Welcome, everyone. You are listening to Calling the Audible. I'm your host for the week, P. Rees. Mo Khan is doing cartwheels. Joining me is the infamous Iggy Magnets.
You didn't say perhaps watching.
Oh, if you're watching, you are perhaps watching Calling the Audible. But, also, you might not be watching. You might be listening on YouTube. Are you a YouTube listener?
Very rarely.
Really?
I'll watch it, but I'm just specifically about Calling the Audible. I'll watch it, and then sometimes I'll just minimize it because I'm doing something else,
Yeah.
and then for 5 minutes it's still running, and I'm listening to it.
YouTube for me is forever second screen. It's always there, and I'm playing something while I'm working.
I've recently realized my girlfriend bought YouTube Premium, and we're eligible for a family plan. So now I have YouTube Premium, so now I can listen to YouTube.
Who is your disembodied voice?
I am the Eagle at Master Control.
Hi, Eagle.
Hello.
How's it going? Eagle's producing this show.
For the fourth time?
Yeah, so we had a false start.
Yeah.
We had 3 false starts.
Yeah.
Wrong music.
This is going to be a long night. It's happening the same night as the NFL draft. We're really happy to not be live like we used to be because there would be never a more pointless night to...
Constant interruptions.
Yeah, well, we're going to interrupt ourselves with the show. Yeah. We're going to give our live analysis of the draft picks. But if we're doing this live, no one will be watching anyway. So I'm glad we're doing this so that you can enjoy your Friday mornings. Eagle, to show the people what we're talking about, can you give us some of the draft picks that have come out so far?
So just like the game recaps that you guys write about in your articles that have happened and nobody cares, you guys already know what happened. But first overall was Trayvon Walker, defensive end, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trayvon Walker. Walker's got a motor, Eagle. He doesn't stop. He plays all 3 downs because he's not a special teamer. Everybody knows that. One thing I know about Trayvon Walker, that dude plays football.
And he walks.
At least once.
Yeah.
Second overall was Aiden Hutchinson going to Detroit.
Aiden Hutchinson. He's the edge rusher.
My boy Hutchie.
That dude could set an edge like no one's ever edged. In fact, if I needed to edge someone out of a conversation, I would use Aiden Hutchinson.
And
why don't change his name to Aiden Hutchin Edge?
We're going to get blocked.
Edginson.
And Derek Stingley Jr. went 3rd overall to the Houston Texans from LSU.
Derek Stingley is probably the best corner. He takes more corners than Dom Toretto.
Sting, sting.
And here
someone
is
just got,
somewhat breaking news because you don't know who this is. 4th overall going to the Jets is going to be Ahmad Gardner, cornerback.
Oh, Ahmad Gardner, I heard that he's actually going to be trying to protect Joe Burrow. Oh, no, sorry, he went to the Jets. My mistake. He played at Cincinnati. That's why I made the mistake. Ahmad Gardner, everyone knows this guy. He's probably the best corner in the draft. I just said it was Derek Stingley, but I'm going to say it every time a corner gets drafted.
He's NFL ready.
He's NFL ready.
Yeah.
His game tape jumps off the film. The film was flat, but no longer.
Isn't his name Sauce?
Sauce Gardner? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's his
Yeah.
nickname.
It's Sauce.
You should always draft a guy named Sauce, right?
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Hot Sauce Sports.
For more analysis like this NFL draft analysis, please tune in to Hot Sauce Sports. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.
You know what I've also realized?
Really, that's silly my own show, huh?
These draft picks have in common with some of the FPF players is that technically you can think of draft night as the last game or night of their college career, their college season,
So like
and they
FPF
show
junior?
up for it.
Good point. So, if this was FPF, you would expect teams to show up on their last night, right?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
if you don't,
So,
They
for
don't get
example,
invited to the party.
It's
if you
a
were to forfeit your last game, Iggy, what would happen?
you would actually obviously lose the game 60-0. But more importantly, if you're in a playoff position and you've clinched a spot in the playoffs, you're actually eliminated from playoff contention.
If it sounds like we don't sound natural at all, it's because we've already done this part of the
already
show.
said this.
I had to redo it.
This is the second time we're saying
But yeah, it's absolutely
It is
true.
a different tee up though, admittedly.
Yeah.
It was a stretch.
it was okay though.
So the thing is, we're not joking about this though. For
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
if you do forfeit the last game, you will
lose your
playoff spot.
Yeah.
And this rule exists, by the way, because people are like, well, what does it matter if you forfeit your last game? Some teams were like, well, we don't need to play the game because we've already clinched, so fuck it, we're not showing up, which we found unfair. So we're like, no, you have to play out all your games.
Yeah, they want to rest their injuries, be ready for playoff time, be 100% healthy.
The other scenario was people were like, oh, I actually don't want to be in this seed because my matchup is poor. I want to drop down the standings or like game the system. And so people that had games later on in the week had more options available available to them. So we also didn't want to give you an advantage in terms of determining your fate, right? You want you to play your game. Now, theoretically, if you show up and you throw your game, I mean, you're a shit person, but technically allowed. But we don't want you to just not show up.
It's harder to do that when you're there and the ball's coming right at you, and to just drop it. Not a lot of people have the balls to do that.
So it also incentivizes teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. We're like, we're not going to make it. We're not going to go to our game. If you may actually end up in the playoffs, it's a reason to play your last game of the season.
So do make sure you get your playoff requirements. There is a team that forfeited a playoff spot in a really strange scenario. That is what we call a future callback. It's a callback to something we haven't discussed yet. So
now I have to change the title of this video to be like, team didn't show up for their game. You'll never know what happens next.
Yeah, exactly. All of the clickbait. But we'll start in Division 1 and 2. Luckily, everyone in those divisions does show up for those games. We very rarely have high division forfeits. So thank God for that.
This is the point in the show where I tell you we have been recording up till now. So at this point, everything is brand new.
Cool. Thank you, Eagle, for doing your job. It's really appreciated. So part of the script is written by Mo, so it's going to sound like we're responding to callers. It's going to be very talk radio. So the caller writes in, where do you stand on Paul Lapierre snitching on Kwesi Gordon-Wall wearing a chain with 5 plays left? As angry as they were, if the roles were reversed, would Gryffindor have done the same?
Okay, so can we first talk about this stupid storyline that Mocon came up with? Kwesi Gordon-Wall was wearing jewelry in a game. That's the story. The story is he should have got a penalty and got left out of the game. The referees didn't see it, and in the process of not seeing it, the All-Stars used it to their advantage on a play.
Waited till the end of the game.
Until there were 5 plays left or something. Got them into a position where applying the penalty got them an automatic first down with enough plays left to kill the game. Ultimately, I don't think it would have mattered anyways. It just is a stupid way to end the game on a penalty, which you shouldn't have taken. For me, the bigger storyline is, Kwesi, bruh, you've been playing for years. Why are you still wearing jewelry on the field? Like, you should know better. Come on, man.
That's the thing. It's disappointing that it happened in Division 1 and 2. I will say there's a couple things about this. First of all, let me ask. Have you guys done this? Have you guys withheld information about pockets or jewelries to point it out to refs later?
To my team's benefit and hold it. Yes, absolutely. Same. Why wouldn't you? Like, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Like, and it's not cheating.
It's not cheating.
It's just holding that information until it's more of a benefit to your team. And if that's the goal of FPF, is to win the game at the end of the day. Any means legally to do that, I'll do it.
I'm not going to hold on to this information. Kayvon Thibodeau drafted 5th overall to the Giants. He's a defensive end from Oregon.
Kayvon Thibodeau. He's a Duck. Hey, look, if you want more information about Ducks, we all know the song's called the Audible. You go to ducks.org. Do check it out. But he plays like a duck. He's sleek. His feet are always kicking. And he has a cool name.
So, Pease, we actually had the Roth jewelry pocket violation rule, something we talked about in the rules committee, I want to say 5 years ago, where
you and I were still in the committee.
Yeah, because we had figured out that exactly in these scenarios, the way the penalty was applied was the result of the play would get nullified if you had pockets or jewelry. So you would...
Like a false start.
Yeah, so you would identify a player who had pockets or jewelry, wait for them to make a play that was impactful in the game, and basically say, oh, excuse me, ref, can you please check his pockets? Flag would go out, he'd get kicked out of the game for 5 plays, the play wouldn't count, they'd apply the penalty on that. So instead of going for like a 40-bomb touchdown, you end up with like 2nd and 15 or whatever it was, right? Yeah. And so the whole thought was, well, the rule is for player safety, and I'm intentionally increasing risk of getting hurt to take advantage of a penalty when I decide to take advantage of it.
So in order to promote safety, the result of the play should stand so that players don't use it to their advantage. Additionally, I know that in the referee mechanics, what's been talked about is if a referee notices it, it's a call.
During the play. That's the key there.
If they're alerted to it between plays, the referee has the ability and is expected to tell the player to remove the jewelry, because let's face it, this shouldn't be changing a game, right? It's a safety rule, and the goal is to keep players safe. It's not there to change results.
Right.
So that's how I see it. I think Paul Lapierre did, quote unquote, the right thing if it's going to be played that way. I think it was applied incorrectly. Do I think it changed the game?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't.
Flying Sack needs needs to
yes,
win.
You're not reading that incorrectly. Keep reading.
Yeah, Flying Westside needs to win and score 93 points to win the tiebreaker over All Stars for the 1 seed.
It's not that
That's impossible, isn't it?
It's not even that they need to score 93 points. They need to score 93. They need to
Plus
win by 93 points.
Plus 93,
right?
yes. Yeah. Well, because the way it was originally written, because they've already played and All Stars won by 9, actually Mo had written that they need to win by 10. But that's not true. Because if they win, the next tiebreaker scenario, which is like the third or fourth option, is the points allowed, period. Not head-to-head points allowed and score between the two teams. It's just points allowed. So hence the question came from can they beat them by 10 to can they beat them by 93? And no, that's impossible.
One thing to note is
awesome.
that the plus
if there's a team that could do it though.
in other leagues or divisions, anytime there's a tied head-to-head, you actually look at the plus-minus differential in those head-to-heads, right? So you add up total points for, total points against, and whoever scored more points than the other team would win. That is not a rule that exists in FPF.
Okay.
So as far as we're concerned, if FMS beats All-Stars, they would be 1-1 in their head-to-head, in which case then we go to the next criteria. Yes. There's no point differential in their matchup combined, so it's only overall, divisional record, but that'll be the same, and then points against. So very unlikely that these actually moves. We know for sure Gryffindor is the 4th seed. God Skills cannot pass them, even if they win this week, because Gryffindor has the head-to-head 2-0 matchup against them. Braves cannot catch FMS, because FMS has the head-to-head against them anyway, so they're also staying in 3rd. So it's really a matter of can FMS get plus 93 in a game.
Mocon is so weird with the seeding. Div 1 especially.
It doesn't matter.
You got to face the best teams. Like literally, it's the 4 best teams in FPF history facing each other.
Oh, well, there's a more interesting question.
There we go. Yes.
Is it the?
Let's have an interesting conversation.
Are they the 4 best teams in FPF? I think so.
I think so. Because I know before Pia's era, which of course is how we all measure FPF. Before Pia's era, there was the Hurricanes.
Maybe like the D-Boys, Rooster and Donkeys team kind of slots in here.
But like at that point, when I first got to FPF, there was at most 3 competitive teams in Div 1. Right? I can legitimately see all 4 teams win the championship here.
Yeah.
And God Skills are like a hair out of it. They're not quite that level. They know it too. Like they're one of those teams that they're hoping to get hot once they get to the playoffs and then do some damage kind of thing. Just get there kind of thing and see what happens. Like we never expect Got Skills to finish with even a 500 record in Div 1. But like had they won 3 or 4 games, that's a successful season, and then maybe go mess stuff up in the playoffs. And it's a 1-game sample size, right? It's not like we talked about on Hot Sauce Sports in the NBA playoffs, which is happening right now. There's so few upsets, and part of the reason is that you're playing a 7-game series. It's hard to upset a team.
Yeah, after 7 games.
After 7-game series, right?
So here's a devil's advocate, because Winter 2020 was like a wash season and everything. Winter 2019, the top 5 teams were FMS, Braves, D-Boys, DK, and Montreal's Finest. And number 6, the team on the outside looking in, was Waste Ute. That's maybe a pretty good group too.
That's pretty good.
Number 7 was Monstars, and then number 8 was Got Fat, which is the God Skills equivalent. But that's probably a pretty good group too.
That's pretty good. That's and that's the year, of course, we all remember Flying Westside won the championship.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, we've all remembered that. We've always remembered that.
Winter champion. Mandela.
So you've now said it every week.
Well, I took away a championship. I feel really bad.
You literally
my favorite team in FPF won a championship, and I forgot. It's like as if the Dolphins would have won a Super Bowl, and I would forget in my lifetime. Like that's what it feels like. It feels ridiculous. But yeah, so you know what? Yes, fine. There's probably more. But I think having Dan Lazara in this mix kind of makes it like, you know what I mean? Like the top end, it's the best quarterback play we've had in FPF. It's I think without argument the best 4 quarterbacks in FPF history playing in the same pool. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like I'm good with that. Not to
mention he wasn't there for the first couple games of Gryffindor too, right? So they could have easily been 5-5 and the standings are much tighter too. That's kind of what God Skills
needed, was sort of like kind of start hot, surprise a couple of games, and then like literally if they win one more game, if they just beat Gryffindor on a head-to-head matchup,
that's it.
That decides the season. And
are they playing each other? Because
I don't believe.
No, they're not. They're not. And Gryffindor has 2-0 against them. So
okay, so
they can't.
So they're out.
We
should
about
be in
this-
red. So
Yeah.
they should be in red, right? They should be like eliminated from.
yeah,
playoffs.
to be so 1 and 2 are combined, and we can't split playoff shit. It's stupid.
Oh right, I see. Yeah.
Carlo.
So it thinks it's 1 through 11.
Yeah.
Well, 1 through
8.
18.
1 through 8, because Division 2 is 1 to 8.
So it's
Yes.
So
it's
it's
1 to 8 and 1 to
yeah.
8.
Yes.
It's doing 2 sets of 1 to 8.
Yes.
But there's only anyway.
Anyway,
You get it.
That's why we need 8 teams in Division 1. 9 ideally. 9 ideally.
But you know what? I'm glad you said that, because look at like the got skills in the 5th seed, like a 2-7 record. Put them in Division 2, and are they not like 7-2? Like
Probably.
Like that's how fine the line gets
Yeah.
cut between Division 1.
Well,
and 2.
so I've said that to me the 2 biggest jumps in FPF are Div 6 to Div 5 and Div 2 to Div 1. I'm sorry, Div 6 to Div 5 and Div 3 to Div 2.
3 to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Because 2 and 1 is like a.
And I think Blessed is the best social experiment of it.
Yeah.
Blessed Outlaws, because it's almost the same team, and they're
dominating one division.
9-1 and 1-9. Like they're
Panthers took
or 2 and
Ikem
7.
Ekwonu from NC State. He's an offensive tackle.
Oh, listen, you win the game in the trenches, Iggy.
Yeah,
You win the game
you
in
need
the
the big
trenches.
guys.
He eats up defensive linemen. That's what you want. You want linemen with
swallowed up.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they say?
300 plus pounds.
They say a good offensive lineman eat, great offensive lineman swallow.
Yeesh. Yee.
They say that.
Okay. I haven't heard that one.
Well, now you have.
Yeah.
This is the first time for everything. Yeah, definitely. So look, either way, I'm excited for D1 playoffs in a way I haven't been in a long time. And I'm definitely excited for that. All the D2 playoff spots are clinched. We don't know the seedings, so you know this is a Mokan question.
Mhm.
It's actually very
But
like
now
I was
it
trying to look at
matters.
it earlier today. It's impossible to figure out who's
Yeah.
going to end up where. Like
Oh.
it straight up is.
Oh, I beg to differ. Actually,
Let's do it.
I think if you look at the schedule for next week, with like 80% prediction rate, you can say who's gonna win, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna pretty much stay like
Well,
that.
let's do this. Let's do this. We're gonna set you up with some imaging. Eagle, cue up a song.
Imaging, image versus
Imaging
music.
and radio is
Oh.
sounds.
Oh.
I didn't create the term, dude. I didn't create radio.
I would have thought something would have appeared on the TV.
Well, also we're on YouTube, so
Mm-hmm.
it would be cool if we actually had actual images, but we
Yes.
don't,
Yeah.
because we're doing this live on the fly.
So like,
Do you need me to buy more time for you?
No, I'll find something. Don't worry. We're good.
All right. So the imaging, we're gonna set you up for your spot.
uh-huh.
It's a new segment we're introducing
Okay,
just
right,
now.
right,
'Cause I
right.
thought of as you were speaking.
Yep.
Because we had zero pre-show meeting, so
Yeah.
very excited about this.
It was while I was driving. You were telling me to shut
Drive
up and drive.
Let's type E more drivey.
It was at a red light, so I wasn't doing both
Yeah.
at the same time.
And I told you to drive through the red light. To be fair, I told you to break more laws.
Yeah. Like Outlaws.
We good to go?
Yeah, I'm good.
Any song doesn't matter. Oh, it's time, folks. You're hearing it the first time ever. If you thought you knew seedings before, you're about to learn Iggy's seedings.
Ooh. I'm planting my seeds.
Iggy plants his seeds. That's a better name. We'll go with that.
So we're gonna go through these just to break it down. Outlaws are playing Urgence Medic. Apocalypse are playing KGP. Party Crashers are playing B-Ballers. Team Swoosh is playing Terror Squad. Hashtag NR is playing All Hooks. And Incredibles get Gryffindor. So Iggy, what
So-
happens to all these teams?
So the only one that's up for debate is the hashtag NR versus All Hooks game, because Gryffindor's going to beat Team Swoosh, so they're out of it anyways, and it's a Division 1 team. Incredibles are going to lose to Gryffindor. Team Swoosh playing Terror Squad. Terror Squad is going to win, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Then we had Party Crashers playing B-Ballers. You know what? That one too. That one too. It's two teams that are 5-4, 4-4, 4-4-1. No, sorry, they're both 5-4, and they're actually very similar rated teams. But it's the 4 and 5 seed, so they're staying 4 and 5. So that's not going to change. And then you have Outlaws.
Well,
Urgence
but they don't
Medic.
play each other. They do play each other.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought they were biased.
Then you have KGP, the Apocalypse, KGB is gonna win, right? Like they're the favorites.
Yeah.
In that game, and then you have Urgence Médic Outlaws. Outlaws may want to wrap up the season, on a high note, but
we don't expect it. So
give me Urgence Médic.
We're thinking
right?
basically with this, all the games this week are only played to decide the seeding of #NR and all hooks. So given that, is the seeding super important for these teams, and for which team does it affect more and why?
So I just need to know if there are so there's no bye weeks or anything. It's just 1 through 8.
I did the same thing a second ago.
Yeah. So NR versus Terror Squad or Urgence Médic all hooks type of thing matchup. I think all hooks would rather play Urgence Médic than Terror Squad, and if that's the case, they're more in need of the win against #NR.
All right.
I think #NR with Sinagra, man. Just take 5 minutes to watch Sinagra. You can cue the. You can stop the music now. Am I the only one hearing this?
No, we're all hearing this.
This is bad. This is
bad?
What
do you mean?
It's like the Qatar World Cup music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah. That's the point.
I'm calling you a ghost.
That's what the show is.
It's horrible. Stop it. Stop.
I think there's a chance you don't know what the show is.
It's not a bad show. It's a good show. So yeah, that's my analysis. That's Iggy planting his seeds.
Isn't this a good planting seed song?
Yeah.
Actually, it kind of is. It's not bad.
Yeah. If you were to plant your seed, that would be.
There's it feels like a song where there's greener pastures there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's literally called "You Are My Ecstasy" by the Golden Ferns.
I'm glad you found it. Okay. The score that pops out to me this week, we just talked about #NR. I want to stay there. They took it a team swoosh, 66-18. That's a big win. Adam Sinagra played as pretty a game as you can.
Also, was Team Swoosh 5 players? I thought this game was weird.
Yeah, 5.
You can check if there's DMPs, but yeah.
No,
they would show up here. That's why I'm like, okay, there's only 5 people.
Well, then that makes it less interesting, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I guess when you have an all-world quarterback or all-Canada quarterback.
Oh, and they started with 6 points. If you go in the play-by-play, the first play is just awarding.
Iggy, pick another game at random that we'll talk about.
You know what? This game would have been important if it was the last. Actually, no, never mind. They're outside of the playoffs anyways. But had they been in the playoffs and this was the last game, this would have been important for them to play.
What game screams out at you?
Yeah, so I was looking through them. Even though they lost, all hooks versus all stars. This is probably the all hooks' franchise's first real lick.
Atlanta took Evan Neal.
Oh, the draft, right.
Evan Neal, Iggy.
The whitest name in all of
He's very black.
Evan Neal, offensive lineman. Listen, we all know Daniel Jones didn't sign that extension. It doesn't mean they don't want to keep him alive. One thing Evan Neal's good at, keeping people alive. People say if he was an offensive lineman, he might have been a doctor. We'll never know.
Saving lives. So I like the look. I'm kind of surprised they only scored 12 points because Division 1's not really about defense, even though it kind of shows you it is. They have the defensive abilities to stop teams from scoring, and no more. You don't have to look further than a team that can put up points like all hooks, right?
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you, Chaz and I had a quick conversation, scorekeeping side by side.
Chaz Presser?
Yes, Chaz Presser. He's like, is Division 1 really good offense or bad defense?
It's not bad defense.
It's no, and he knows it's not.
Yeah,
and he we're talking.
I wouldn't even say that the defense isn't up to par with the offense. It's just that the way defense is played is different.
Yeah,
that
too.
You need to create turnovers.
Yeah,
you gamble, so and if you miss,
shots.
YOLO.
Yeah, you take shots. Yeah,
you have to. And I've tried to coach up my lower division teams to do that. And it's impossible to get people to think that way if they don't already think that way.
Right.
That's the one thing where, it's not that there's not Division 1 talent in Division 6, because we've seen guys who are incredibly talented. We've seen guys play high level of football. But unless they have that mindset, it's hard to get them there.
Yeah.
It's hard to get them there.
I find in the lower divisions, your defense is more designed around baiting plays versus in the upper divisions, it's about gambling on plays.
Baiting and some defenses will literally let offenses drive the field banking on the fact that QBs will make a mistake.
Welcome to my defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally
The
that.
lockdown. It's why I love playing lockdown. It's so good.
Yeah, just waiting till a quarterback throws off just throws a deep ball that's a wobbler or off their back
Or
foot.
throws into double coverage
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
they're counting on the fact that their quarterback will make a mistake later than the
And the
sorry,
higher
the
up
opposing
you
quarterback
go,
will make a mistake earlier than their quarterback.
and the higher up you go, the less mistakes you make. So you can't play defense that way anymore.
Yeah. So my last point for that game is I'm kind of surprised that All Stars didn't like smack All Hooks like 50, 60 points on them.
Is it the first time they played?
The Falcons have made a trade with the Colts. Matt Ryan is now a Colt.
That's old news.
We know that already. That happened weeks ago.
Oh, I forgot.
We
Super
talked
late.
about it. In
I'm sorry. I'm
Sports.
trying to produce a show and I'm seeing alerts, and I was like,
But you're the producer
I
of
forgot.
the show
I forgot.
that we talked
I'm sorry. There's too much going on.
Hashtag super late NFL news.
My second home is in Atlanta. We talk a lot about the
Shut up.
Falcons.
I'm
Why
busy.
did that come up? Why that came up as a
The
notification?
next pick is in. That's why. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
So for those who didn't know, Matt Ryan is no longer a Falcon. Matt Ryan, man with the golden arm, Iggy. I don't know if you know this. He's great in certain situations, but terrible with the lead.
I didn't know. So I'm.
So is this the first time All Stars play all hooks? And I'll tell you why I'm asking.
I'm
that.
gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes.
I think it's let's say this season. I'm gonna assume it's
Oh,
ever.
This season, absolutely. I'm thinking
yeah.
like maybe like a fall tournament or
I
maybe like a
think-
Midnight Madness type of thing.
I
but-
want to say it's the first time, and
Yeah.
the first time All Stars play a team, they're more conservative.
Okay.
And allows the other team to compete in that game. Famously, Jeff Rosenblatt took them down to the wire. They played in the overnight tournament
NR.
against #NR, and #NR pushed them down to the wire. It's just the way they play.
Drake
with
London
teams.
to the Falcons, by the way, from USC.
Who went there?
Drake London.
Jake London.
Oh,
Was
I
it
heard
Jake?
Drake.
Drake.
Oh, Drake London. My mistake. I misread it. Jake London. He's a big receiver. And you know one thing about NFL draft reviews? When you have someone who's big, you compare it to another guy who's big. So obviously he's going to be
Metcalf.
Mike Evans or DK Metcalf.
And he's gonna go play in the London games.
Absolutely. Well, no, he's not. He's not playing for the Jaguars.
I don't
He'll
know.
get traded to the Jaguars.
Yeah, and then play there.
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan's going to the Jaguars because Eagle thinks he's still in the Falcons. So he'll get traded there with London, top receiver. That's cool. He's they need a receiver, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
They're comparing him to Vincent Jackson, by the way, which is
There we go. That's, by the way, if you ever want proof that the people who work in sports media are all C-grade students, watch draft coverage
Yeah.
because it's the laziest shit you'll ever see.
It's and
You know where I figured
there's no
it out?
science to it.
You know
There's
what?
no-
But you know where I figured it out when it was the draft with Robert Griffith III, and I will get back to FPF in a second. I promise. It was the draft with Robert Griffith III and Andrew Luck, and they said about Andrew Luck that he's quote unquote surprisingly athletic. And I was like, he's a decathlete. How is it surprising? Oh, they mean he's white. I got it. and then the next one was with Robert Griffith, but it's like he's surprisingly accurate. And I was like, he played the first 6 games. He had more touchdowns than incompletions. Why is it surprising? Oh, he's black. That's what they're saying. It's all code. This is terrible. This is terrible analysis. And it's not gotten any better.
No.
And look, I understand it's impossible to know 2,000 players, but then get the people who are doing the research on the microphones, like our boy Seth Galina, who plays FPF, working for Pro Football Talk. He's joining us on Hot Sauce Sports next week, so do tune in to get some post-draft analysis.
Nice.
For
the Colts, right?
I'm done with the plugs. Let's stick to FPF and draft picks. So that's the thing with All Stars is until they get a feel for you, that's kind of how they play you. I would expect the next time they played All Hooks, they would put up 50 points.
Got it.
And it's nothing against All Hooks. It's just the way All Stars are.
Yeah. I think we wanted to look at maybe Division 1-2 Player of the Year nominees here.
No, we can do that next week.
Yeah, I hate that. Let's just skip that.
Cool.
I hate doing it.
Nice.
As you can tell by my lack of involvement in awards.
Yeah.
By the way, for those of you at FPF, I love hearing from you. I love hearing about your games. I love talking FPF. Don't campaign to me about your awards. I don't give a shit. I'm not involved in the process. The only way that I'm involved is once in a while I get a blind resume and I say A, B, or C, and that's it. And it's very rare.
You just see player
you want to
A,
talk to somebody
blind
about who
stats.
should win an award, this guy over here.
Oh, no.
This
Not this year.
magnet.
Not anymore.
This magnet.
This
Your
chick
arm looks
magnet.
very short, by the way, with that angle. Do that again.
Just straight shoulder to hand, right? That's why I throw so many picks.
I do have an idea this year, though. We can actually.
Why are you looking at me?
because you're kind of involved in this,
No.
I can
Who is doing it?
I can
You
run
don't
the
know yet.
ratings algorithm for
Oh,
the
yes.
year,
Right, right.
just the season, right? And whoever has the max score in those categories.
That's the winner. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Easy.
Let's make it less human. I like it.
Computer.
We have some news about the FPF women's final that's going to be taking place Monday at Hunsik.
This Monday, right?
Yeah, this
Couple
Monday.
days, yeah.
There are 2 games.
Yeah.
The 2 games will have play-by-play. Our 2 most experienced play-by. Actually, 2 of our most experienced play-by-play analysts, who are myself
Yours truly. Yeah.
and Mokan. Not yours
No.
truly.
How do I say that?
You say my truly.
my truly.
I'm your truly.
Jesus. Yeah,
My,
you.
my liege.
My leech.
My liege.
Oh.
I'm your truly. So Iggy's truly myself. We'll be calling one of the games.
Yeah.
I'll be calling the Tier 2 final. Mokan, post breaking his fast, will be calling the Tier 2 final.
Wait,
Um,
you said you're calling the Tier 2
Sorry,
final.
the Tier 1 final that
Jesus.
happens at 10 o'clock. I'm trying to say a lot of things at once, man.
No, doesn't he want the 10 o'clock?
What's the 10 o'clock?
I-
It's not listed on the
You're
site.
doing one, he's doing the other.
I'm
Next.
doing a 9 o'clock game.
Jesus
Goes into
Christ.
10.
Yeah.
But that's not the story. The story is
Yeah.
we're actually inviting 2 members of that community into the booth who have real experience. Mo and I are just there to call the plays. We want to give the voice to the community to
Cool.
help give context, because that's the real art in calling a game is giving the context of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's 2 people who I'd like to share this first experience with as much as the 2 people who will be joining me. One is Sarah Parker, and the other is Marilou Bellin.
Nice.
Marilou missing part of the season
Yeah.
for injury. She wasn't actually playing women; she was playing co-ed, but
Yeah.
she got injured. She's also very familiar with the community. Sarah Parker, of course, she unfortunately lost to Flamand Rose, which we'll talk about those games in a second. But I did want to announce that because I'm super excited. We're also making some changes. We're going to be putting the booth at field level because we have some extra space.
Yeah.
We wanted to give a more party atmosphere. We want it to be a bit more like sort of the NBA playoffs. We're going to be having runners go out and get some of the women to join us in the booth for 2, 3, 5 minutes at a time to have conversations about what's happening, about their teams, about the teams that are playing. So we do want to invite this because we want this to really be a party atmosphere. We want to really celebrate this, and I hope that this sets a trend for all of FPF Roadshow to come.
So Stade de Montréal have accepted the booze to flow.
Well,
Your party atmosphere, right?
no.
Party atmosphere. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a no.
Yeah, it's a no.
Yeah.
I will say what happens in the parking lot can spill over to the inside, but just keep the drinks outside.
Hopefully no cops and no
I will
shotguns.
say, the one time we partied
Yes,
inside
it was a
Stade de
fox
Montréal,
or something.
we got kicked out for drinking inside. Then we set up a barbecue in the parking lot. This is a true story.
The shotgun story?
Yeah, so several cop cars pull up, and out of a police van, a police officer with a rifle starts walking towards me. And I was like, what's up? And he's like, well, you have a barbecue going. I was like, yeah, do you want a hot dog? And he said, well, no, but there's a coyote in the area, so you can stay here, it's fine, but you want to put the food out, like get rid of the food as quickly as possible. So we had very quickly and disappeared from the parking lot.
Nice.
That's the last time we had a what's it called? A tailgate at an FPF event.
Hey, guys, did you know that the Seattle Seahawks got the 9th overall pick for Russell Wilson?
Who did they pick?
They didn't pick him yet, but the pick is in.
The pick is in. So you're saying Russell Wilson got traded weeks ago? Okay, cool. I'm glad you knew that. But yeah, so I'm excited for the women's final. It's going to be awesome. We don't yet know who's playing in the Tier 2 game.
Yes, we do. It is.
Sorry, Tier 1.
Yeah, Tier 1.
What's wrong with me tonight?
It's okay. I'm here to
Thanks,
compose
Iggy.
yours. Yeah, it's fine. The Tier 2 final is Volts versus Red Nation.
Yeah. So that's going to be
The Battle of Vanier?
No,
Not entirely.
No. Volts, no, half.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
VC Cubs, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's VC Cubs, who Red Nation beat in the semifinals. Volts are from Vaudreuil-Dorion, maybe even a little further than that. Bourget, they're a high school team, if I'm not mistaken. They are. So actually, let's just dive right into that. So I've seen that team a lot, the Volts, super young, but probably the most disciplined, most organized.
It's terrifying.
like team,
It's
like
terrifying.
in all of women's and like
Most of FPF.
most of FPF. Yeah, exactly. Like they look to their coaches and like they're running warm up drills and they're not dicking around here. They're running their routes.
It's a weird turn of phrase for women's division.
Yeah.
Charles Cross, Mississippi State offensive tackle.
Charles Cross, another offensive tackle league. Did you know there would be so many offensive tackles taken this round?
I did, but he better not cross that line.
That's true. You don't want to do that. That's a false start.
Yeah.
One thing about Charles Cross, he doesn't like to get false starts. Draft analysis concluded for Charles Cross. So
the Volts super organized, super disciplined, and it shows on their field.
And Marie-Lune Fauzency had like that kind of game, right? Like just meticulous. 200 yards, 5 touchdowns. Both the Volts and Red Nation combined for a total 0 points allowed in the previous round.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm excited for this final. I get the previous round was a bit of a letdown, but I'm excited to see that matchup because I think the only team that could really push the Volts is Red Nation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, man, that's going to be tough for Red Nation. Their way to a championship in the women's championship final here is slowing the game down. Getting first downs on third and fourth down. But make it manageable. Make it 3rd and 1. Make it 4th and 1. They can convert on those because if it's 4th and 12, 3rd and 15, that's when they're going to start throwing deeper balls that are not as accurate. And again, I can't stress the word enough of discipline. The Volts defense, as much as their offense, super disciplined. And the picks just they're in position to make the turnovers for their team.
So you need to have scheme to sort of to take advantage of the fact that they you need to flood zones and take it and force them to try and play man and then use man beaters. Alison Sobel is at the other side of the spectrum for Fauzency. She had an okay game, only threw 2 touchdowns, did throw it in interception, and Titania Bakos had the pick 6 that really distanced themselves over VC Cubs, but their final game won't be the same. It won't be the same caliber. Obviously, Red Nation have a lot going in there, and I think to your point, Iggy, slowing the game down is important. They need to have a strict game plan about how they're going to manipulate the Volts defense to do what they wanted to do, but you need to limit possessions for that to work because the longer that game goes, the more it favors the Volts.
It does because offensively they're very methodical as they drive the field. They love different concepts. It's not really trips, but kind of is because
every play is trips. So I've had an experience. Actually, I was playing against Eagle where we're missing players, and I had to field 5 players against 6 for the entire game.
Yeah.
And I actually found it interesting how well I could run my offense, but it since changed my offense, and I started using more trips because it affects the defense when you have a balance and an ISO side. And there are advantages to playing 5-on-5 in a way that 6-on-6, unless you use like off balance formations. It makes it really interesting. It makes the game planning very interesting from that standpoint. Because you can use motion to decipher defenses. You can overload. You can run all your receivers on one side and not have any ISO.
They do
use
that
your ISO constants.
They have a couple plays like that. I've actually picked up on some of their sideline signals. So like I caught some of the hand signals and I was telling the ref, hey, they're running just this play, and then they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, well, I've been looking at their sideline. So like
they're Yankee/Red Sox/Astros.
What's up, baseball?
It's there. It's for everyone's viewing pleasure.
So Titania Bakos had 2 interceptions, and Jenna Arroyo had 2 interceptions in the last game. Which one of them, or is there another defensive playmaker that will make the difference against the Volts in the finals?
If it's anyone, it's actually our ref / girl, Lamise. She usually plays the safety in the 4-1 kind of concept that they play. She's going to have to... A couple times
she had a lot of ground to cover, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So a couple times she's had her hands on the ball near the sideline and just tipped it out on like third or fourth down, which is actually a better play in women's. It's actually kind of interesting the way women's league and rules kind of work out that way. That if they're on their own 5 and it's fourth down, it's actually smart to just tip it away if it's like a deep ball, because you'll get the ball back. No, actually, you should always want the pick. Sorry, because you want to pick it as much as you can instead of just batting it down on fourth down like you do in the men's league, because we're gonna get the ball on the 5. No, you actually get the ball back on your own 5.
So I knew that rule. And I was curious how you're gonna
make
the argument.
I was disagreeing. I was doing it the
but
inverse.
Also play for stats.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
Ohio State's Garrett Wilson goes to the Jets.
Garrett Wilson. I was waiting for Garrett Wilson to get picked. Probably the best wide receiver in the draft. He's an Ohio State Buckeye. You know what that means? That means he's played in Ohio and he knows how to play football. Garrett Wilson.
What is he? Cedric Wilson's. I feel like Garrett and the Wilson makes me think Dallas Cowboys.
I think what it is that he went to the Jets, but I think he is actually the love child of Myles Garrett and Cedric Wilson.
You have one guess to figure out who they compared him to.
Garrett Wilson, Terry Galloway.
Nope.
No.
Lynn Swan.
Lynn Swan. Okay. All right. Cool. Hall of Famer. No problem. No pressure, kid. Lynn Swan. All right.
That's like the U.S. and their hot takes, right? Like, just you got to say something. There's no accountability.
Swan.
There's no accountability
That's
to
like,
what they say.
That's like if you come over to my house and make you pancakes and you're like, peas, you're God. Like that. That's what that is. Yeah. Based on my pancakes.
So I
make great pancakes though.
So
I'm
that's
basically
like,
God.
That's like the tier 2 kind of. I feel like it favors the Volts.
So who's your pick?
The Volts.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to pick against them, right?
Yeah, and I can see a score line of like 36-12.
I'm gonna do the professional broadcaster thing and not make a pick because I'm calling the game.
Yeah, because you're a professional.
I'm a professional. Yeah. That's what most people think of when they see me. Is that guy's a professional?
Yeah. So look, it's gonna be a score line of like 36-12 type of game. It's just the way the Volts they're just on another level of football. Honestly. Yeah.
And the one thing I've noticed about FPF is the competition catches up quick. So we'll see if that's the case in the game, and if not, we'll see if that remains to be the case as the women's division continues to build.
Now we don't know the matchup for the tier 1 team, right?
Right.
We don't know yet. Flamel's made a quarterback change. They utilized the IR rule. Adrian Cadret suffered a leg injury, and Adrian Cadret, by the way, rocket arm.
Yeah.
One of the best arms in women's league. One of the best arms in FPF. Period. Yeah. Because guys like me throw an FPF.
But they didn't miss a beat with Elizabeth Ashkar. I was there scorekeeping the game. It looked like she's been running the offense the entire year, honestly. Again, very much like the Volts offense, very methodical, taking dedicated deep shots, which would stretch the defense, hit the underneaths, and let the receivers kind of do the work.
So when I started playing flag in 2011, there wasn't really a pool of flag football players to draw from generally, but definitely not in men's. And as it's grown
definitely
on the
in women's.
No, definitely not in men's, because there already started to be some flag football women's or girls in high school, and a lot of these girls are now playing in FPF, right, as they become women. And what's cool is they have a pool of players that they can draw from that even the men's league struggles with to this day, because we say this all the time, right? Like, because you're a good tackle quarterback, because you're a good tackle receiver, it doesn't guarantee success. But it guarantees success if you're a flag football quarterback. Yes, yeah. We saw them beat Concordia, who, without their starting quarterback, without Cadret, I assumed Concordia was the favorite.
Alexi did too in his article.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they lost that game pretty handily.
It was. It looks closer on just a 41-35.
I read through the play sheet, and I was like, it wasn't that close. They were
always down by 2. Yeah. They were always down by 2, and they were just trying to get back into the game. Look, they tried, but they just couldn't get the stops on defense.
So ESPNW, an Instagram account, featured
Sarah Parker
this week. But much like ESPN, did not give credit to the source or who the player was. And I had a conversation with Sarah this week saying, don't worry, they've done some stuff where they haven't credited the source either. And, we've seen that We've seen that happen before. That's kind of the way they do business, which is unfortunate for what used to be a journalistic entity. But of course, the E does stand for entertainment. And Sarah, thank you for providing the entertainment. You've always entertained us, so congratulations on getting featured on ESPNW.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was cool.
Division 6. Where do you want to start, Iggy?
Ooh,
I know where I want to start.
Are you gonna give me a fighting chance?
Sure.
A puncher's chance.
So let's first start with feedback we got from one of our community members, Terry Babalas.
All right.
Babalas. I like Babalas better. It's like Babylon.
Yeah.
Which is Mocon's kind of a nickname for him, the Babylon. Yeah.
So this was feedback regarding, I think, essentially, I mean, Pease, you can summarize this, but the way the divisions.
We got his permission. You can just read the text.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I got his permission.
Do you have it handy? Or you want me to go grab it for you?
He asked you pre warm up show.
Shut up! I have it. Don't worry.
Come on, Eagle. It's your job. It's not like you have anything else to do during this show.
Okay, so Terry said, "Hey guys, for the Division 6 playoffs, I've always loved the creativity and the different approach. Even the unknown part until late in the season is exciting, and I totally agree with the part of let's avoid the tanking teams going to Div 6. But what are your thoughts about the super divisions like A East with Beer Knights, Spanish Inquisition, Stormers, or A South with Thunder Buddies and 7th Rounders? Those are arguably 5 of the top teams in Division 6, and 3 of them will be going to 6D asterisk. Seems like 6D will be just as strong as 6, and there won't be the usual split in top talent."
Terry.
It's the news.
No, so I want to point out, first of all, the way that 6 is different is you'll notice it's not 6A and 6B. The reason is not related to the next thing I'm going to say, but it's become this. There's not a difference in talent per se between 6 and 6D. Not in a perceptible way. The cap is the same. The quarterback cap is the same. So winning a 6D championship is not a lesser championship than Division 6.
No.
They're just divided because it will always be our largest division because it's our introductory division, right?
Yeah.
So for that reason, it doesn't actually matter if the teams in D are stronger or weaker. All that matters is the competition as the playoffs go on, like more so in the second round and onward. We want to make sure that we have the best competition possible.
Right. So it's sort of, if you think of it in like Microsoft Word kind of ways, it's a copy paste. It's having a Division 6 and copy pasting it somewhat into Division 6D, and it's just the label.
You know, copy
Sure
paste
thing,
is a computer feature, not a word feature, right?
Oh, fine. Yes. Okay.
You stepped on my Clippy joke. I'm not happy with you.
Did you step on Clippy?
Yeah. Ouch.
Can I help you with that?
So yeah, so it's just having like 2 Division 6s is your
Correct.
point. Yeah.
Because there's too many teams to make it a competitive final. The first time I played in Division 6, by the way, there was 10 teams, believe it or not, because it was like a stigma.
Right. Yeah.
And
you had a blocking lineman.
What?
And you had a blocking lineman.
No, that was Div 5.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I could block.
That was Div E.
What?
That was Div E.
No, my first season was Div 5.
Oh, yeah, because there are only 5. Yeah.
But so in the first Division 6 season, or it might have been Division E, where we introduced the new lowest division, Rob was actually worried about the division because only 10 teams registered. And I was like, don't worry, they'll come. Yeah. The stigma of, I want to win Division 6 champion or Division E champion, that'll fall.
Away, yeah.
It went away fast.
Yeah.
It went away fast.
Speaking of like raw, like that kind of, just a quick story here. Apparently, I was talking with David De Andrade. Apparently there was the attempt at a recreational division one year, and like only 2 or 3 teams signed up. Yeah, that one didn't.
We tried to capture the CMSS market.
Oh yeah.
And that one thing is it's just because what FPF has become,
it's a competition.
What we wanted to do was offer teams a chance who didn't think they would be competitive, a chance to just go out and play.
Yeah.
But the thing is, FPF, the draw to FPF is competition. It's always going to be.
Yeah.
So
that's
why I always say that, like,
they're competing.
Division
models.
1 is not a growth division per se, but it's so important that we have those teams because it sets the standard, right?
Yeah.
And so it has a trickle down effect, right? So even Division 5, Division 6, we see how competitive it gets. So to Terry's point, it's an interesting, I wouldn't even say criticism, it's an interesting note about the division split, but I don't think it has the same impact that it would have in Division 5 or 4 if we divided the teams that way, because
by like the strongest.
Yeah,
teams?
because there's just so many unknowns, and there's so many teams that don't face each other, and we did it on purpose, Eagle, this time around
to switch them around,
to switch it so that they wouldn't face each other.
Yes,
So Eagle can't speak, of course, because now his face is full of candy. So I was asking him a question,
Pop
but
colas, by the way, very delicious.
so I bought Eagle
those are
candy
my
today.
favorite.
I bought Eagle candy, but I haven't eaten candy in 20 years, so I don't know what I was buying. So I didn't know if it was good.
That was perfect, by the way.
it was. It kind of swirled like.
Yeah, it's like a pea spiral. But yeah, so they're good. That's awesome.
They're my favorite.
That's awesome. I didn't know what I was buying for Eagle, so I'm happy. I'm happy they're good. But yeah, so now we'll get into sort of, while that was a positive contribution from our community, we unfortunately had some negative contribution from our community this week. This is a segment. Eagle, can you cue me up with some music?
Oh.
I have some
You
imagery.
want something like dramatic, right?
No, the same music. It's fine.
No, it was so bad.
No, it's really going to fit with the title of my segment. There we go. This segment is, and for those of you listening, it's really important that you follow along and you take this to heart. This segment is called...
The song is actually called The Heart.
Oh, there we go. There we go. It's important that you get the message here, because this segment is called Don't Be Dicks. Eagle, we have 2 contestants on this week's Don't Be Dicks, don't we? Who are the contestants on
Contestant
DBD?
number 1, the men who refuse to be men, who are very powerful and glorious. It's the Glory Boys.
Yeah. Much...
Versus.
Well, and the Stormers is the other team.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
So...
What a letdown there.
Much as I had a joke queued up for Glory Boys. I was going to say, much like Glory Holes, they're past their time. There's a time to fight. And that's like in another century, because, it's a recreational league after all. It is competitive, like we just talked about.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's a rec league. There's never a reason to fight in a rec league. There's literally not a thing a person can say to me. Like, there's no words that can lead me to a fight. Want to know why? Because I'm a grown-ass man. And I don't care that much about anybody's opinion that it will lead me to a physical altercation. Nobody's that important to me.
Yeah.
There's not a person on earth
Yeah.
who is important enough that the words will affect me enough to throw fists in a handshake line.
And kicks and
Yeah.
because there was kicking because people went to the ground. There was kicking and with cleats on. There was kids there on the sidelines.
I mean, unnecessary context for sure. Because it doesn't, it's not better that there's kids there.
No.
But it also doesn't, just don't be dicks.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Stormers, equally dicks.
Yeah.
And, the worst part is, I liked both these teams. Like, I like both of their football.
They're both hotheads.
Yeah, but
They're both hotheads.
I like the Stormers' methodical approach to the game.
Yeah.
I like Glory Boys with the running QB, and they're both
They're
fun
exciting.
teams to
They're
watch.
exciting. Yeah.
And it's fine to be hotheads. We have hotheads across the league. You know how many fights we have in FPF? Almost none.
Yeah.
Like, Eagle.
The music. It's getting me.
Because it's because we're talking about such a peaceful topic.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time? Because we've had fights before. We've had
Nothing to this level,
Nothing to
though,
this
admittedly.
extent,
Usually
first
it's
of all.
like one person will throw a fist, and that's the end of it, right? And teams huddle and whatever it is.
and usually the
Chris
captains.
Olav, by the way, goes to the Saints, number 11 wide receiver.
Oh, the Saints. They need a wide receiver.
They do.
I don't know who's throwing them the ball. They don't know who's throwing the ball. But Chris Olav, guess what? He's already open.
He's like
Possibly the
Olaf,
best receiver in the draft.
like Olaf from Frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, frozen ropes. This guy catches them all.
But all that to say, we don't usually have any fights at all. Like minor altercations at times.
But again, I'm not talking,
that's
I'm not
even
talking
that.
about a guy getting heated and saying something stupid. I'm not even talking about somebody shoving somebody in the heat of the moment. Like,
We're talking fisticuffs, spinning on
fisticuffs,
ground,
and like
dust
in
going
the past,
flying.
when somebody's thrown a punch and gotten suspended for it, because you will always be suspended for it, without exception. I don't care who started. You're getting suspended if you throw a punch. Always. You're
Let it be known.
Yeah. Now, usually when it happens, the team captain will apologize and whatever. Like, we understand it sucks. It happened. We punish the person appropriately. Here's the thing with FPF. First of all, we have referees who are trained and evaluated. We also have
Disciplinary.
not even going that far yet. We have a mechanics guide on how referees apply rules, including how they deal with altercations. We have we have a third-party disciplinary committee where Rob, for those who don't know, does not even oversee the discipline in FPF. We have a third.
We're not on it either, for that matter.
We're not on it either because
we're too involved.
When we were asked,
too much bias.
Eagle and I said, "Well, the problem is that we're sort of the front-facing part of the company, right? Like, literally, it's happened before where people have thought that I'm Rob because my face is so much more present on the website than Rob's, right? I'm not Rob. He's not me. And the same with Eagle or Iggy. Like all of us, we're too present in the league, so we can't have that role. Yeah. We want it to be sort of impartial. We can
also have segments like this. You can be like,
so I'm free to talk about it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it'd be weird if I suspended somebody and then talked about it. So we go out of our way to make sure that all of these adjudications are done fairly and are taken seriously. And so guess what? Stormers, Glory Boys, get out of here.
You're out.
Done.
For the season.
And
playoffs.
Potentially more.
Because
it is at the leagues. Because now the third party, they've decided that they're gone. Here's where it becomes a Rob campaign.
But clarify that. So done for the regular season.
Done for the regular season, done for the playoffs.
Done for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Boom.
Their seats are forfeited.
Yep. We'll get to that.
That also gets a little interesting too.
Yep.
I'm not laughing at the incident because it's not funny, but there's something that happened outside of the incident when it relates to standings that's super funny and stupid. But getting back to the incident, where Rob does get a say, this is his company. This isn't a publicly traded company where Elon Musk can come in and save you.
$44 billion.
This is a private company.
Yeah.
This is Rob's house. If he decides you're not coming back ever, and we by the way have a precedent.
People are banned for life.
We have a precedent of a team where no combination of 3 players from that team are allowed to form a team in FPF again.
Yep.
For the rest of time.
Yep. Because they've just stirred up too much shit in the past, and he doesn't want that. He doesn't want the shit in his house. Yeah.
It's bullshit.
I believe the response was, if you don't think our quality of our officiating is good, you're welcome to go somewhere else and find somewhere better.
I actually have the official response. I'll let you talk while I dig it up.
Yeah. So both those teams done for the season,
done for playoffs.
And so as Pease was alluding to, is that the next upcoming team that was going to be eliminated was actually going to take their playoff spot. We were going to recalculate the division in its entirety, kind of reseed everyone again.
And we'll get to how that worked out in real time in a second. But here, if you decide to fight in FPF, here's the letter you will get.
Here's the type of thing you
hello, Captain. After 2 rounds of deliberation, a report from the scorekeeper and both officials of the game, the FPF Discipline Committee, again, a third-party committee, has decided that your entire team, blank, has been suspended for the remainder of the whatever season, in this case it's 2022, regular season and playoffs. This decision is on the basis that regardless of whether or not you were initiating or retaliating, your actions on that night in Field X compromise the values and standards established in the Flag Football Code of Conduct. It is completely unacceptable for a team in our league to engage in a violent fight and to be able to play again a few weeks later. These actions will never be tolerated, and should this conflict with your beliefs, it would be best for you to find another league to play in. This decision was unanimous and non-negotiable. When you are prepared to conduct yourselves in a proper manner, we are prepared to welcome you back in our league.
So I like that. I like the last part. It's just like if you decide to be a grown ass man.
So right now you have not adhered to the DBD rule, the don't be dicks rule.
Yeah.
If you decide to adhere to the DBD rule, you're welcome back.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Jamison Williams went pick number 12, by the way.
Jamison.
Jamison Williams.
It's almost the death of you. Last time we had Jamison.
Yeah. Well, you tried to kill me. Jamison Williams. Look, some say he's the best receiver in the draft.
I think he's NFL ready.
He's NFL ready. Listen, the guy jumps out of the gym. When the gym is here, he doesn't walk out. He jumps out.
There's
the sidewalk. Rat. There's the sidewalk between the gym and the street. He leaves the gym, never touches the sidewalk.
My only worry is he going to leave the gym to be on the field?
We don't know. If he does, he'll jump there.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a 3-legged race where you have to hop with a partner tied to you. 3-legged race.
So let's talk about what happens in the playoff standings right now with these changes. So let's start with
what should have happened.
let's start with the easier one here. In Conference B South, the Glory Boys had the 1 seed. You can draw a big fat red line through that one. Congratulations, Primetime. You are now holding the 1 seed in B South.
Yep.
If we go up into Conference
Does this
A,
change who's in 6 versus 6D, by the way?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to change quite a bit.
Then in Conference A East, the Stormers draw a big red line through that one. Now, that won't impact any of the immediate standings in Conference A East. What it will impact is the Stormers wouldn't be able to usurp anyway, so there's one less team competing for the 1 seed in this grouping. But more importantly, in the playoff standings, they no longer hold the 9th seed at this point or are competing for a higher seed. So draw a line over there. This is where it gets fun, boys.
Yeah. So now
because there's one less team, instead of going for 17 teams, we have 16 teams. So only 2 are not going to make it, which means Henri Pisa Gang, congratulations.
Congrats, boys.
You make it into the playoffs.
Except you don't. Because you forfeited your last game.
the thing we talked about earlier.
Why? Why would you do that?
They forfeited this past week on
Get
Wednesday.
your grandmother to play. Anybody. Anybody. Get anybody to play.
Get Henry.
Get Henry. Get his gang. Get anybody selling propane and propane accessories.
So
this makes a really, can I say, interesting scenario here?
Yeah, sure.
Let's look at the other 2 teams. Team Poland and
10.
Free Agent Squad. Team Poland is 0-10 with a plus-minus of minus 197. Free Agent Squad is 0-9 with a plus-minus of minus 266. Free Agent Squad has a game coming up this week.
Yep. They can make it. And
Free Agent Squad with a win or a tie against Zidane La Frappe, which, by the way, is a very winnable game.
Yeah,
will get them into the playoffs.
They're 1-8, Zidane.
This is awesome.
That's amazing.
Listen, for those
the storyline just right.
For those who don't know me well, I am an agent of chaos. I love chaos.
This is right up your alley.
In case you can't tell, when I run the show, when Mo's not here,
it's 5 hours
things
long.
Get wild.
Yeah, things get wild. I make Eagle do 90. How much more do you hate the shows when Mo's not here? By the way?
It's kind of fun. It's also very stressful.
But it's much more work for you.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You can turn your brain off when Mo's here. That's what I do. But
what he does.
When I'm here,
That's what our viewers do.
But the thing is, I love the chaos. Honey Pisa Gang, you done messed up, guys. You done messed up.
They had a shot. They were in the playoffs.
The fact, like, I've been writing all season long, like, flag football, sorry, not flag football team, Free Agent Squad. Guys, thanks for trying. It's tough. FPF's tough. It's going to get better. Don't worry. Stick with it. Like, next season, maybe you guys can form your own teams, like, get people you're familiar with. The fact that team who struggled the way they did have a chance at the playoffs is wild to me. It's wild. If not, Team Poland with 0 wins makes the playoffs. Their first win might be a playoff game.
So, interestingly enough, Free Agent Squad, they've had some glimmer of hope. Mm-hmm. So, with not just this news that we're giving them, but this past week, I saw them playing Beer Nights. The halftime score, they were leading over Beer Nights 7-6.
I noticed that. I was writing my article today, and I noticed that. By the way, so
and a few plays. Sorry to
go ahead.
A few plays before the end of the first half, they scored their touchdown with 5 people on the field. Why? Because someone just puked in the middle of the field, spit twice, tried to line up, and said, "No, I can't," and went on to the sideline.
Hey, if it could happen in the NCAA tournament, it could happen in FPF.
It was kind of dirty. There was it wasn't full out puke, but there was a lot of liquid on the ground in the middle of the field.
So basically, to summarize all this, Stormers, bye-bye. Henry Pisa Gang, bye-bye. Team Poland, you are currently holding the last seed in the Conference A playoff standings. Now for Conference B, like I mentioned before, Glory Boys, so scratch them over there. prime time, you are taking over their spot. So right now, you're actually tied for second seed with West Island Boys and Tropic Thunder.
And they have 2 games. They have 2 games. Oh, no.
They have one game left.
I look like an 8 from here.
Your girlfriends cheer for us. You are currently in the playoff spot, and I believe you have officially qualified regardless of what happens to your next game because Step Bros cannot catch you.
Well, hold on. So let me click on their game. So their game yesterday against Flag Football Team was a 50-36 win. Mm-hmm. But if I open the link to the game, they busted the cap by 0.8. This is the...
Div 6, what's going on? What's going on? Come on, dudes.
So wait, so they actually may have, we're not officially saying this, they may to make it in.
P's maximum chaos.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
So they haven't...
I didn't even... So, like, again, I've started writing my article. I didn't get there yet. That's wild.
That's great.
That's wild.
It sets up a really, really crazy last week.
So I do issue an apology to Division 6. I missed an article last week. I have carpal tunnel-y situation happening.
On your toes?
No, my hand.
Okay.
It's the reason I didn't play flag football this week.
Oh, right. Yes.
You
sent me a picture of your thumb. I was very tempted to just send you a picture of my thumb. Just be
I
like,
was explaining why I wasn't playing.
You didn't. You just sent a picture of your thumb.
You didn't realize the size of the thumb?
Yeah. It didn't look like it on the picture.
My hand was in a great deal of pain. We had a kind of a semi-win and you're in situation in 4B that we kind of really needed against a team that was really struggling. And we lost the game because I couldn't throw. But essentially, it was why I couldn't write either. Right. I was just in a good deal of pain that was subsided while I was chilling at the game, watching my game with you on sideline with a fistful of painkillers in my system that allowed me to be there.
Jordan Davis to the Eagles, by the way, offensive tackle.
Oh, Jordan. So I actually... I saw Jordan Davis in person. Oh. I actually have actual analysis. After Bulldogs game, I saw him outside, just around town, and that dude is shaped like a house. Cool. And the fact that he ran like a 4.5 40 is nonsense.
Also, his suit for draft day is fucking sick.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait. You can put it up on the screen if you want.
I can't because it's on this one, but you see it?
Oh, damn.
Wild. Yeah, it looks really good. I like it.
Nice.
I like it. Giving up very Coming to America vibes.
Yeah,
I like it.
6'6", 340.
Oh, he's a monster, dude. You have no idea. Like, I don't even believe he's 340. I wouldn't be surprised if he's 590. Like, the dude is just a giant ball of muscle. It was terrifying to see that in the wild.
Man, he doesn't have carpal tunnel.
I'm sure that he does. No. He probably causes it in others, though. Yeah. He causes it in others. So we'll move on.
Yep.
So lots of chaos in Div 6. It's fun. I love it.
Now, a lot of teams do have all their games played, so we are waiting for the final results to figure out all the different weightings and who's going to end up where. I tried this morning to try and break it all down.
That's too much.
I was like, I'm not doing this, and then doing it again when the results come in. I'm not doing that.
In a few days.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like we know all the teams who are going to make it for the most part at this point.
Like 90%,
so basically, unless your name is Zidane Lafrappe and maybe the Step Bros, everyone else is making the playoffs, which is the cool news. Obviously, Stormers, Glory Boys not included, and maybe the whole thing with Team Poland versus Free Agent Squad. But that's basically the only storylines of playoff making it or not.
Right.
Then it's a matter of, are you going to end up in Div 6? Are you going to end up in 6D? There's too many possibilities to figure out at this point.
We'll talk about it once we're there, once we cross that bridge.
For sure. There's a question here in co-ed that I thought Mo Khan wrote, but then I remembered you wrote the co-ed script.
Yeah.
It's a question about seeds.
Yeah.
And this is Iggy setting his seed.
Planting
a seed, sorry. Listen, man, I got a lot going on too. The question is, who needs a first-round bye as a 1 seed more? Power Rangers to provide time or rest, or just party mix in general?
Right. So that's the only reason why I talk about the seeding is because you get the first-round bye.
And in some divisions, the seeding matters more. I don't think it matters particularly in this division co-ed because of how much stronger these two teams are than everyone else.
But I raise it for Tam. I was gonna say Terry Tam. Tam's arm injury, which he's leading the division in touchdowns. I believe he's a few yards shy of.
He looks like they replaced it with like a robotic arm, and he's a monster. Right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that he's playing this well after breaking his arm last season is wild to me.
But the reason
Maybe it's just carpal tunnels. Who knows?
But
you guys are jerks, man. I'm done being sensitive with you.
But
guys.
see,
That's what you get for stepping on Clip It.
But see, the reason that we got rid of teams, or not got rid of, made teams play their last game of the season, so that so you don't forfeit and then go into the playoffs with a week's rest. Well, they can do it legally because we're going to give them a first round bye.
Yeah.
So why not take the rest for his arm for whatever I mean, he's going to be playing in Division 1-2 anyways, right? So maybe now that I'm thinking about the question, maybe it's not really rest that he just plays one less game. It can do his shoulder 30 less attempts thrown is probably, why not? It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I would say the thing for on the other side for Party Mix, Francis Laurier had sort of an interesting. Tell is the wrong word. He had a way that he would read the field that if you knew that about him.
That he was going deep?
No, it's the way he went. So he changed the way he would read his progressions. So it was this time where we upset, my supply and command team upset his 1 seed whatever team.
Mongoose?
No, I don't remember what they were called.
Sure.
And the way that we upset them, this is a defense that had me and Simon Dagenet on the field.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the scheme? Yeah.
The scheme was that my job was to stand.
Oh yeah. Just
Phil.
there.
Well, no, like find where the drag and or slant was,
Right.
and eat it.
Right. Just step in
At
front
the time,
of
it was Kenton Lowe, who was a really big, strong dude. It sucked. I was in so much pain for weeks because I literally stood there and ate
the slant or the drag.
every single, like to the point where I could barely get down to snap the ball.
On offense.
And what we realized was
Yeah.
he would stare down those interior routes, those short interior routes, then progress to the middle, and then throw late over the top. So if you had a freak athlete, in our case, it was Justin Blanchard when he was younger, and his ability to break on the ball allowed us to get them to later downs and to force turnovers. He doesn't read the field that way anymore.
Okay.
And it's just he has more experience playing quarterback. And so it's harder for teams to scheme against that, and this gives him an extra week to scheme. So I think
okay, there you go.
I got
Bringing
there.
it back.
I got there.
Yeah.
You gotta have trust. You gotta trust your teammate, bro.
Okay.
So in this last week,
So wait, let me finish saying. I
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
it around.
One more. Yeah.
Let me
one
just
more
say the
point
last
there.
sentence.
Yeah.
So I think it benefits him to have a week off.
To have a week
You're
off.
done?
Wait, what? I
Yeah.
thought you were going. It benefits him to have the extra week and.
That's what I'm saying.
play.
It benefits him to have the bye.
Ravens took Kyle Hamilton
Was that the
from
question?
Notre Dame, by the
I
way.
didn't read the question.
It was the question, but I thought you were all leading up to see defenses.
No, it
and
benefits.
play the
no,
game.
I was gonna say
and
it
play the
benefits
game.
him to be able to have time to scheme. Like, look at the two. Who might he play? Who are my options? I think I can do this against this team, this against this team, because of how much better he's become as a play caller and how much better he's got at
I thought
defenses.
I thought your argument was going to get more reps in to do that while
Listen,
by playing.
This is sports media. You start at your endpoint and you get there no matter what.
Okay.
Whether or not it's factual, Higgy, you get there.
It's up to the viewers.
Who got drafted?
Kyle Hamilton to the Ravens.
Kyle Hamilton. Look, he looked so good with that gold helmet on. He's going to wear purple and gold now. That means that my entire analysis is based on colors.
So going into this week, Party Mix has 2 games to play, one versus Easy Fun and one versus Average and Savage. Power Rangers are playing 2.5 Kittens and have 1 game at hand in terms of the points. So the only way Party Mix gets the 1 seed is they have to win both their games, and Power Rangers, actually, if they win both their games, they get the 1 seed. That's basically the combination.
Is this true, Eagle? Because it comes from Alex the Intern, so it might be wrong. The Ravens just traded Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals?
Maybe?
Check that out.
I didn't.
I was not listening to anything Eagle said, so Iggy, recap.
So he was saying the way in which Party Mix could get the number 1 seed is either by, and I think he did this wrong. So they can either win both. And they're automatically the number 1 seed because they beat Power Rangers earlier this year. So by winning both, or I believe they can win one, and Power Rangers would need to lose to 2.5 Kittens. Again, Party Mix would need to win one and lose one. Again, because they have that tiebreaker against Power Rangers head-to-head matchup, is how they would get the number 1 seed.
They traded the number. It's Arizona Cardinals trade number 3 to the Ravens for number 100 and Hollywood Brown.
Wow, shocking.
So they lost Christian Kirk and replaced him with Hollywood Brown.
Better version of Christian Kirk.
They're comparing Kyle Hamilton to Jalen Ramsey.
He's not even a corner. He's a safety.
I know.
Oh, my God. I think it's because he wore number 5, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway.
And the other game in co-ed one this week is Sriracha Hot Chili Sauce versus Bishop Sycamore. I mean, that could potentially swap the whole 3 to 6 range, right?
So what are if you were to put odds on Party Mix getting the 1 seed, what would those odds be?
100%.
Pretty, not 100, but pretty high. Like,
give me a number.
Like 91.6.
91.6. Well, it seems like you put in the math to get there.
So
you obviously did.
I ran the calculation. Yeah. It's a QB rating of.
It's the you've heard of algorithms. That's the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
The algorithm. New segment, by the way, for next season. Algorithm.
Iggy rhythm.
Yeah, I'm calling it. It's done. Party Mix number 1.
We need a combination of techno and math for that segment to work. You start with the name and you build out.
So the other thing I noticed is not necessarily again not talking about seeds, but Bishop Sycamore. Mm-hmm. They're on a 5-game win streak.
Yeah. So to me, Bishop Sycamore is a terrifying team.
That's why. So I
they just didn't know what they were
team
doing.
With great athletes has quarterback. Wow, yeah. What a formula! Wish I had thought of that.
Exactly. So
well then how come lockdown? Oh, the great athletes.
Oh, yeah, right. So, but the question, that's kind of my question is, what are they? Are they a dark horse playoff team? I wouldn't call them necessarily a dark horse. Are they?
Well, they're dark horse in the sense that we didn't think they would get it together by the end of the season. But okay, I understand they added.
But now going in,
they added Sarah Parker, which obviously is a great quarterback.
But Texans took Kenyon Green, by the way.
Ah, Kenyon Green. I was waiting for Kenyon Green to get taken, mostly because I only heard his name just now for the first time in my life. He's another offensive lineman. This guy, he is the king of the buffet. But you know what he does better than eat at the buffet?
Oh, I was going to say.
He's a monster in the weight room.
He goes from Texas to Texas.
There we go.
Dallas?
No, he was Houston. He was Texas A&M. He was Houston.
Yeah,
and that barbecue stays local.
That's the thing. And also, here's the thing about Texas barbecue. It's not real barbecue because it's only beef, but he's going to enjoy it.
Eagle, is it?
Yes. Very true.
Yeah, okay.
I know about barbecue.
Yeah. He was just recently there, so.
I know.
I know you know.
So.
Yeah, so Bishop Sycamore, super hot. Hottest team in the division.
So the thing is, but they were getting there with Tommy Riley Triados anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't yes, Eagle, to your point, they added Sarah Parker, but I don't think they're worse for wear, or better. They were this before she joined the team, and I feel like it's maybe not the fast forward button. It's like 1.5 times on your podcast. They got there just slightly quicker than they were going to with Sarah Parker at quarterback.
Yeah, and in that 5-game win streak, they've actually beaten Power Rangers. So
I was gonna say that's the game that's surprising to me, right? Because the other one, you're like, okay, you can argue, on an athletic level, average and savage, they should be better than. That's 2 wins right there. Sriracha, I mean, they're playing this upcoming week. That's 2 right there. 2.5 Kittens, it's more of a system game you have to beat rather than a talent game, let's call it. So that one, and admittedly, was a tight game. But the Power Rangers one, that's the one where you're like, oh.
But it was Tommy.
Yeah.
It was Tommy at QB. I'm just pulling up the game sheet here. It wasn't Sarah Parker.
That's what I'm saying. They were there. Yeah. They were right on that cusp.
Right, exactly. So can we lump them in with the Power Rangers party mix?
So
are they still a notch below?
Any given Sunday, ?
What are they?
Or Monday? No, wait, it's the Mondays and women's final. Sorry. Again, there's a lot going on today, Eagle. They're the most talented team in co-ed.
Athletically.
Yeah.
Talented.
Yeah, just like raw talent.
Or flag football talent.
I mean, most raw talent.
Yeah.
Just in terms of pedigree, I think that winning playoff games, there's an extra level of planning and adapting. Now, Sarah Parker's played playoff games, so that is at the quarterback position, because it's not to take away from Tommy Riley-Trilas' his tackle and flag pedigree is insane.
Yep.
One of the best players in FPF, right? But what Sarah Parker brings is someone at the position who's played quarterback. She's struggled at that position in these times, and
playoffs, right?
It gives a moment for a guy like Francois Delory is going to be able to diagnose what she does on offense, and so she's going to need to come in here with a curveball. I often say that the thing I found hardest to learn about playing quarterback in FPF is you need to sort of have your main game plan, but you also need to have those
first half, second half.
Yeah, first half, second half, or even like I kind of break the game down in thirds.
Yeah.
So like a middle of the game segment, because the third act in the game is decided by context. Are you winning? Are you losing? Are you tied?
Yeah.
Do you need to score so that you can give yourself 5 plays? Do you need to score quickly, score slow?
Slow down, yeah.
Exactly. Like the game will dictate the third act.
Yeah.
The second act, you need to give them something you haven't seen, especially starting with the ball in the second half.
Yeah.
That's such a key, is being able to start with something the offense hasn't seen yet. And I think Sarah Parker's getting to that point in her FPF career where she's realizing that.
Mm-hmm.
Raptors lost, by the way. They got smoked.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh.
I wanted Doc Rivers to lose.
Yeah. I wanted a game 7.
Yeah. That sucks. Anyway, again, we're adding more complications to the show
with the NBA
updates as well. But yeah, so that's, to me, your question is, are they there? I think athletically, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sarah Parker gives them an edge that they might not have had with a veritable rookie quarterback. But I don't know. I don't know if they can really compete with the likes of Party Mix and Power Rangers, given the championship pedigree.
A step below.
Yeah. And Sarah Parker's competed in the co-ed championship recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in spring, so.
And if I recall, kind of struggled.
Took the loss, yeah.
Yeah.
Took the loss to, I want to say, Power Rangers.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So we've seen it, right? So we'll have to see if that changes. That's how I see it anyway. Who is the best running quarterback in Tier 1? There's 3 options in
4.
Sorry, 4 options. You're right.
Yeah.
In my mind. I see that. I thought 3 because to me, I don't quite consider Tam Veladeth a running quarterback.
But he can.
He can.
Off, yeah.
But he is a thrower first.
Yes. Definitely.
So the ones we have listed: Jeremy White,
JF
Marquis,
yeah.
Tam Veladeth, and Joey Taylor. Joey Taylor is the strangest name on that list in all ways.
Yeah.
In every way, at all times.
I know. I was putting that name down, and I'm like, I thought you were gonna say 3. Because of the 4th being Joey Taylor.
Well, no, it's just because Joey absolutely is a running quarterback in that he will roll out on every play.
Yes.
He never stays in the pocket.
I meant downfield, though. But yes, because he's probably, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's the hardest to tackle in open field with his hip flex move.
Hip movement, and also like he's running to create throwing windows.
Lanes,
We had a talk, him and I, about this when we played together, where he said, you don't need to be a running quarterback to just roll out a little bit to change the throwing window, to get the rush away from you. And that changed how I saw the field completely.
Mm-hmm.
And that I owe that entirely to Joey Taylor. In 2 sentences that he said to me, like, he kind of explained it, and I was like, oh, I never thought of that.
Commanders took Jahan Dotson from Penn State, and also apparently the Titans are trading A.J. Brown to the Eagles.
Oh.
Hey, congrats, buddy.
Oh, that would be nice.
You have another wide receiver that Jalen Hurts can't throw to.
That would be nice. Oh, man.
Jahan Dotson. See, maybe the Eagles should have drafted Jahan Dotson, because Jahan Dotson, probably the best wide receiver in the draft. I don't know if I said it. He's instant offense. You want breakfast? Put Pop-Tarts in the oven.
And it's going to cost you your 18th overall and a 3rd-round pick.
I'm making a Pop-Tarts reference, Eagle.
I'll
you
take
want
that.
breakfast? Go for Pop-Tarts. You want offense? Get Jahan Dotson.
He's an established receiver. I'll take that. Versus a hit or miss first-round pick.
Yeah. That's wild.
But they didn't get a defensive player then, the Eagles, and with their first-round picks.
No.
Okay.
Just another receiver they can't use. So Joey Taylor, and I would say Jeremy White is the next level of that, with his duck move, with his constant moving in the pocket. and his ability to take off downfield in a way that Joey Taylor doesn't have. So he's Joey Taylor 2.0. I know he's going to be insulted by that, but that's fine.
Yeah. And the only reason I don't normally think of JF Markey as a running quarterback, but he has 5 rushing touchdowns.
It's the way he runs like a tackle player.
Okay.
Like, not quite shoulder down, but a Susomo shoulder down. Like, you don't tuck it in, run. Yeah. That's the angle to the end zone. Right. Go. You just when he decides to run, it's there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, with athleticism though. Yeah. There's no cut. That's where he's going to make a play.
So who's the best running, rushing?
To me, Jeremy White is a particularly difficult skill set to manage because of his ability to throw from different platforms. Yeah. The duck move adds that tackle difficulty. Like, it's hard to get his flags. His ability, he's always running. Your rusher is going to be dead by the end of the game. Yeah. Similar to Joey Taylor, but again, that extra level of speed.
The extra je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. Zion Johnson goes to the Chargers.
Zion Johnson, perhaps the second most famous Zion to be going in drafts after Zion Williamson went to the Pelicans. Rumors say he will play more games in the NFL than Zion Williamson will play in the NBA.
I was going to make a Zion Williamson.
I did it first, so now you need other material, Iggy. Gotta keep moving.
Lamar Jackson tweeted, "What the fucking fuck, bro? We traded away Hollywood."
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, maybe talk to your quarterback before trading away his favorite weapon. So yeah, who's your favorite running quarterback?
I was gonna answer Jeremy White, and
answer somebody else then.
You know what? I was gonna say if it was the second on the list was Tam Villades.
Well, because when he wants to take off, there's nothing like it, right?
Like, it's just.
Well, we saw it in the game of the week, right? He was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna try and buy time in the pocket. Okay, I'm gonna take yards now."
Yeah.
You're gonna give it to me? I'll take it.
Yeah. So Tam for me.
So Kiss My End Zone and Fit Squad tied the season series 1-1. But who has the better defense? So I said this on last week's podcast. I found Fit Squad to be not necessarily the best team in co-ed, but a particularly difficult matchup for Kiss My End Zone.
We just beat them.
I know.
Yeah.
But I said this last week. Before it happened.
Before it happened, yeah.
I didn't travel through time, if that's your question.
For defensive reasons?
Specifically because of the defense.
Yeah.
I thought they give David specifically.
So, his comment, his being our quarterback, David, he's like, this is the best rusher in the division. He's the hardest, the toughest rusher.
Who's the rusher?
I didn't catch their name.
Sorry, I meant to tee you up. I wasn't trying to put you in a bad spot.
But they're good defensively. They give it, I fed some information to David from what I was seeing. He was seeing the same thing. There are some holes that you can take advantage of and kind of play 2-on-1 defenses.
So what is it so they can fix it? Tell me.
No. I'm being somewhat discreet.
You're the worst. Great content for a podcast. I have information. I won't give it to you. Why bring it up then?
But they I think they have
one. Was it just to brag? I gave my quarterback information.
No. It's just that all being said is that they are actually a very good defensive team. They have the most interceptions tied with Kiss My End Zone with 14.
Yeah.
They have, I believe,
rusher is Hugo Lepin, by the way.
So they actually have the most sacks in the division. So there's stats to back up David's claim there. They've, I believe, allowed the second least points against in the division.
Is Felix Goulet the full-time quarterback?
He is.
Yeah.
He's good, but we picked him off 4 times.
Saw that
because he likes going deep a lot.
Yeah,
and not the game. The score dictated that he had to throw deep.
Suns beat the Pelicans.
Oh, I thought there was more.
Bye, Zion. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, bye.
That's
Zion.
expected. That's expected. Yeah. So,
yes, the
defense.
I got the defenses. So they have the fit squad. Number 1 in interceptions. Number 1 in sacks. Second in points against. Versus Kiss My End Zone, tied for first in interceptions. They have the second most sacks. They have the least points against.
And they've allowed 200 less passing yards. Which, having played with Kiss My End Zone, there's a lot of field position type concepts. Like, you're okay turning the ball over on down, forcing a turnover on downs instead of necessarily getting a pick or whatever. Right. Like, there is sort of like a game planning construct versus like always breaking and looking for picks, like we talked about, like with Division 1 and 2. Like it's a defense that doesn't mind playing like bend but don't break at times, and once they get up once the score comes up, now they know that you're going. I'm saying they because But now that you know they're going deep, that's when Kiss My End Zone will take advantage.
Yeah,
basically.
and I just think Fit Squad doesn't have someone like James Drysdale on the field.
There's not a lot of James Drysdale.
No, I know, but exactly to my point. So that might be the edge that I would give.
Vultures, feel free to play in a different division for me at any time because I'd like to add James Drysdale to my roster.
You can forfeit the Saturday game against Honey Martin. No, I want to play. I want to play outdoors.
Also, they would forfeit their playoffs.
Oh crap! Yeah.
Remember?
So would we. Oh shit! Yeah, never mind.
We'll move on to Division 3. Mo asks, what happens if all the teams in Conference B finish 7-3?
They would all finish 7-3.
So
that's what would happen.
Division 3 is boring when we looked at the overall standings here because we know exactly who's going to make it now. Yeah. Obviously, teams are going to move around. I don't think that's really going to change too much in the grand scheme of things based on the way the teams are divided somewhat. I mean, in Conference A West, we know Blessed is the powerhouse. In Conference B, it's a little bit more of a competition, but I imagine we're expecting Junkyard Dogs to kind of hold that 1 seed all the way through? Question mark.
Yeah.
Also, are none of the 7 and 2 teams playing each other?
No, I checked that.
Okay.
He
because it would have been the most thing to do.
I know. No, I looked at all the games, and all the teams could be 7-3.
So Expendables, I got to say, since losing Carmen Palice, still putting up a fight, still being generally successful.
Competitive successful, or I mean, they lost 30-12 to Junkyard Dogs.
But they lost only 1 game since he's been hurt.
2? They no, yeah.
No, it's the only game they lost since he's been hurt.
Yeah.
So they haven't fallen off much, and I was legitimately worried that might cost them a playoff spot.
Okay, but are you worried for them now in a playoff position?
Definitely worried. I no longer think they're top of the division. Jason Rossi coming off a 35+ championship, which we'll get to. But Junkyard Dogs look great with him at the helm.
Yeah.
And Silent Ticklers again kind of snuck up on us because they're not sort of like a sexy team to pick in Div 3, but they're good.
We saw them fall too. The quarterback play.
The quarterback play is up there. There was a little bit of worry when he played
spring last
year. That is he really division?
Oh, right. Yes, 3
C caliber.
C, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it took him a second because Jordan Panetta hadn't played in a while.
Yeah.
He's looking more like himself this season.
Yeah.
So I think, with a full season under his belt, I could see why there was that concern. But
So is that kind of the win for Expendables, like keeping a playoff spot, and is that kind of their championship?
Knowing the players on that team, no.
Yeah.
They expect to win anyway.
Right.
They're fiercely competitive.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I was to say compatible. They're fiercely compatible.
For sure.
The compatibles.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so
it's as good as your NFL analysis here.
Look, Gino DeFazio is struggled, but it's a team that is good all around. They're gonna have to rely on their defense. That's tough to do in
Division and in Division 3. Yeah.
Titans took Treylon Burks.
Treylon Burks, another wide receiver. Some are saying he's the best wide receiver in the draft. He is the kind of receiver you can throw the ball to,
and he will
catch it.
Oh, touch
which
it,
is
catch
his
it.
job.
You have one chance to think about the comparison here. Who do they compare him to?
6'2", 225. I'm gonna
Des Bryant.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say Devontae Parker.
No, they had Deebo Samuel and AJ Brown. They had both comparisons.
So 2 players who play nothing alike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's either mashed potatoes or he's broccoli.
They're doing it on purpose, right?
But he's still a vegetable.
Yeah. Comparable.
He's either a root vegetable or just a vegetable.
Celery rave.
So you were impressed with Gino DeFazio?
No.
No, you're not.
I was saying he has 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Oh.
He's not really. The thing is, when I started playing FPF, Gino was still sort of one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He's fallen off. I don't think he would even dispute that. But the team wasn't built for him to play quarterback.
Right.
The team was built for Carmen Palice to play quarterback. He's been fine, but it's a team where there's good players, right? Like Ryan Perry, Kendall Myers are ball hawks, right? The guys who can make a difference. Andrew Carruthers, I've said it on this podcast all season long. He's a guy who's more known in lower divisions, but he's very, very, very talented. He's had problems getting enough games to qualify for playoffs in previous seasons. That's not the case this season. Mm-hmm. It's a solid team on both sides of the ball. They're going to have to rely on their defense at times, I think, and that's a difficult recipe in FPF in the playoffs. It's just
FPF's just built for the offenses, and Division 3. The higher you go, it's just the more of that point that we were making in Division 1. It's built for the offenses.
Yeah, for sure. So given that in Conference B, we talked about it a little bit, which of the potential 7-3 teams, who are the favorites in Conference B? Because we know it in Conference A, right?
Yeah, it's Blessed, obviously, and then after that, it's Sheesh, you would think, in Conference A.
I've been saying from the beginning, to me, those are the two best teams.
Sure, I mean 6-4, 5-5, touch it, catch it. Those are your favorites. Anyways, for me, it's Blessed. I mean,
it's Blessed anyway. Like to me, Blessed is the best team.
But Conference B, it's easy to say it's just Junkyard Dogs because they're the number 1 seed. It's not because they're the number 1 seed. It's just because the talent level on the team. But after that, I want to put EZW just a slight bit ahead of over Silent Ticklers. Thor's Hammer's really good. It's harder to pick one out of there. Well, no, sorry, it's harder to pick two. One, it's Junkyard Dogs. For that second team, that's where there's a crowd in there.
Silent Ticklers, EZW, Thor's Hammer. Yeah, I agree with that.
They're like 2A, 2B, and 2C.
Yeah, like, I'm impressed with the way Killer Bees has played second half of the season.
Well, they're the ones who beat Blessed.
Yeah.
No, last week.
They're Dan Lazare wrote about it in his article that they're no joke. Like they're not here to get mopped on. They're solid. I don't think they can replicate that in the playoffs. The way they beat Blessed last time around. I think
45-44.
Yeah, I think you don't want to have Stephen Harpersad putting up that many points against you to have it. Like if it comes down to converts, more often than not, he will beat you.
Yes. He's going for 2 a lot now.
Yeah,
he's starting. He used to be a quarterback that went for 1 a lot, if I remember, and now every other play he's going for 2.
So I don't think it's a particularly easy place to score from. That said, I think the math backs up going for 2 all the time.
Yeah. It even if
all the time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start going for 2 more.
I've talked about it with a couple of guys.
Yeah,
I think the quote unquote right play is to go for
2. Yeah,
every single play.
Not every single play. You know that depending on the context. If you're up 8,
I'm saying in a vacuum, like not
in a vacuum,
not related to
context,
the game situation.
Yeah.
I think it's value. I think the inherent value for doubling the amount of points for an extra 5 yards. Yeah, giving you more opportunity to call plays, and also like if you look at success rates around FPF, I don't think it's that much off 50%.
Right.
So
right.
It might. Yeah. We might be doing the 2.3 point thing in the NBA where all of a sudden people are like, what? Why were we doing that before when we could just shoot threes? Yeah. Like,
I mean, you convert it 3 times, it's a touchdown.
Yeah,
it's like it's a big difference,
especially for offenses that are prolific. It makes it like we're looking at sort of Division 4 and up. I think where teams are scoring a lot.
Yeah,
it makes a difference.
Yeah.
So let's get back to it here. With Blessed losing, does this give hope to playoff teams in Conference A that the number 1 seed could be had?
Like a really small. It gives. It there's a chink in the armor. Now I don't think they had the full.
Oh wait, hold on. No one can get the number 1 seed. Blessed has
no.
It's the way Mo writes words.
Well, Eagle, I'm just saying.
And then I had to write come playoff time.
Yeah,
I added that because I'm like, wait, Blessed has locked up.
So he means whoever's going to win Conference A.
No, he's talking about can anyone? Does anyone playing Blessed now have a glimmer of hope because they lost to Killer Bees?
This is the stupidest question.
Well, no, it's fine because they were undefeated at the time. They were like a juggernaut. They still are.
They're still a juggernaut.
Yeah, but they lost.
If I understand the question, if I understand the question, does the result of the game make Blessed less talented than they are?
No.
That's the answer.
Yes.
No.
But
you have the same chance you had before.
Yes, yeah.
the way that Killer Bees lost won the game is insane. You need to have your foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah.
And you need to be perfect.
Yeah. Both quarterbacks put up 7 touchdowns over 250 yards of offense.
It's insane.
That's what you need to be.
It's insane
to be blessed.
So yeah, you're right. If you could put up if you could cross the entire field, 7 times, score on all 7 attempts, yes, you can beat blessed. If you happen to convert more often, Stephen Harpersod, perhaps the most efficient quarterback in the division.
Yep, good luck. And I think their Division 3 team, it's better than their Division 2 team.
Well, it definitely, like, if you like weigh it against the competition, yes.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying you might be right in general, but definitely if you consider
for sure, yes,
the competition.
The competition. But I'm talking about the roster itself. I haven't done the analysis, but the cap might be higher in the Division 3 team than the Division 2 team is what I'm suggesting. Because Phil Farin is on the team in Division 3, and he can't be in Division 2 because he's already on Party Crashers, I believe it is.
Saints took Trevor Penning.
Trevor Penning. I was waiting for Trevor Penning to get picked. Another O-lineman. He's going down to NOLA. He's going to love those little donuts. They are delightful. My friend, he's going to be... New Orleans is famous for the little donuts. The beignets.
Yeah.
It's a bang. But whatever. They can't expect him to speak French properly. Trevor Penning, his French won't get better, but he's going to love Bourbon Street, and New Orleans will love Trevor Penning. Draft analysis.
Cool.
You're welcome for joining the show. Mo will never take a sick day again.
He's going to hate this. Hey,
we're doing the only part I'm going to be sad about is not seeing Mo's reaction to whoever the Raiders are going to take. Because every year he screams.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch.
He's the perfect Raiders fan because he loves to hate his own team.
Yes, yeah.
I still remember the draft night was the same night we were doing like semifinals or whatever it was. So we were doing interviews and the whole stuff. And I think it was also collecting like registration fees for the next season or something. And Mo had the TV on in our room. And when it got to it, he was literally like, fuck, what? God damn it. And then he just disappeared for the rest of the night.
He hated Gruden's picks. I remember that.
Turns out he was right on hating Gruden, period.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah. Well done, Mo.
So, like, if Mo would have asked the question, like, if Mo would have liked him at first, would it have made Gruden more or less racist? The answer is the same amount of racism.
Yeah.
Yes. Bless did not get worse. They're at the same level of talent.
Yep. Nice. With
done. 2 games left. Could you envision Les Malouds or Bearskins moving up in the seedings? Malouds play Junkyard Dogs. Bearskins play Easy W. I thought Bearskins have a game against Blessed remaining as well.
I looked that up. Bearskins, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, I just looked it up. So Bearskins are playing Easy W.
I'm looking on the Blessed page from a previous topic, and I see they have an unplayed game from April 10th.
That game got rescheduled into last week. And Blessed won 42-6.
So why is there not a result?
Yeah.
Because think about it. Look at the list. They have 11 games on their list.
Oh,
now.
I see.
They got rescheduled, but the previous one didn't get removed.
But why didn't it get removed?
That's the question.
Carlo?
Basically.
Yeah.
I love talking about people on the show that the audience doesn't know.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things to do.
Who else do you do that with? It's just that guy.
It's just Carlo.
Mo.
Yeah. No, we know Mo.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you a story with my friend Steve.
Harpersod?
No, another
okay,
Steve.
Okay. No, let's not.
He offered me sesame snaps today at work, and I didn't take them.
Is that the guy with the nut that you're allergic to?
Yeah, he keeps hazelnuts in his office in case he needs to kill me.
At least this isn't a story about your friend who's outdoor furniture.
Oh, Porch. Yeah. He's waiting on his Cybertruck, but Elon Musk is too busy buying social media networks. Okay. That's a story. It's a true story.
So can they move up? I feel like both teams are going to lose.
Yeah. That's anticlimactic. It's a bad matchup for both teams.
Yeah.
Bearskins will have trouble to contain Jeremy White. Les Malouds are pesky because of their physicality, but that won't bother Junkyard Dogs at all. They won't even notice.
No.
They won't even notice the physicality.
So here's the more interesting question: if Bearskins lose and Lightweight win. I know. I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian at heart. I almost killed you yet again.
Oh. It's like you just said hazelnuts.
and it would be against Mangoose. Outdoors, though. Outdoors.
Have you seen
I
Simo's arm
I
this
have
season?
seen it. Outdoors, I've seen it. It was not pretty.
Does he have a running playbook?
Yeah.
somebody
Actually, he ran a couple times on Les Gros Coq. It was
How do you look? He's lost some weight, so.
lightweight.
He's got a wedding coming up, so he better be
why.
losing weight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, if scenarios, if lightweight beats Mangoose and Bearskins lose, does that they would be tied? Oh, Bearskins beat lightweight. Never mind, that's it.
Yeah. I was just looking at
playoff over. Yeah. So
lightweight. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah. So no, both teams will probably lose, and they stay where they are. Malud and
Interesting thing
Bearskins.
about lightweight is they registered as 5 players.
Registered for the season.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And they were just gonna figure it out as they went. That's what that looks like.
But they registered for Division 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, way under the cap.
Well, because there's only 5
Well,
players.
that's what I'm.
You're gonna be under the
That's
cap.
what I'm alluding. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So this question's actually a good one.
Yeah. Closer race for quarterback of the year: Rosenblatt versus Harpersad or Couture versus Brisebois.
So, it's a good question.
So I got a message from Jeff Rosenblatt. By the
Okay.
way, campaigning for
For himself.
guys. No. Campaigning for Crackwood for Anthony Brisebois. That's his nickname. I'm not making it up. That's his actual nickname.
Okay. I was like,
Because it's the English translation of his name.
Crackwood.
It's dumb.
I
It's
thought,
dumb.
I thought you were telling me like nominating drugs.
No.
Crackwood.
Crackwood for receiver of the year, or I guess it was two-way receiver, just because of how insane his season's been as a receiver. And he's like he's never gotten his due.
23.
I'll say that he's never gotten his due. The guy is amazing.
Yeah. I
He's
saw
everything. He's fast.
saw
He's
him
tall.
once.
He's a good route runner. He's an incredible Division 1 caliber player. Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
You know who also is?
But
a
I
great
don't
player?
choose awards, guys.
Kenny Pickett, who's going to the Steelers.
Oh, the Steelers get their quarterback, Kenny Pickett. He's been compared. I saw this today in a graphic. He was compared to Andy Dalton because
Red
both
Rifle.
quarterbacks are white.
The Red Rifle.
Yeah.
Bringing back to our rifle.
There we go.
Part of the show.
But Jeff Rosenblatt and Stephen Harpersad, neither guy has a particularly rifle arm, right?
Right.
They're both guys who are just incredible scheming quarterbacks.
Look at the stats though in the passing, Eagle.
Oh, so we're at passing still? Okay.
So
Because you mentioned rifles, so I changed.
no, you could have left it on the TDs, but whatever, that's fine. So they're like 5 yards off. Now, note Stephen Harpersad's played all 10 games.
Yeah.
Whereas Jeff only has 1 remaining, so he'll end up playing 9. Look, he's gonna get probably 200 more passing yards, right? Roughly than Steve, if not 150. Probably
He's going to have more touchdowns because he already does.
Like let's say he has the 5-0.
Or,
game.
he has 2 less touchdowns, so he'll end up with more.
Yeah, so let's say he puts up a 5 TD no picks game. He'll have 55-3 versus 52-2.
That's a tough race.
Yeah, it's really close.
I think it goes to Jeff.
I think if he puts a 50-0, what if he puts a 50-2? A 5 TD 2 interception game.
So
puts him at
55 and
55-5 to 52-2.
Then it's a conversation.
Yeah,
That's a conversation.
yeah,
If
it
he just
come
goes 4-1, he wins.
yeah.
If he goes 4-1 and like 160,
Because look, same completion percentage, QB rating.
he would have to have a
off by
disastrous last week to not win the quarterback of the year.
1. Well, a 5-2
Because
is
he's also gonna have done it in 9 games,
yeah,
which
yeah.
we don't prorate for awards unless it's like this kind of situation where
Yeah.
you're that impressive and you play.
And you played
He played
one
less
game less.
He would have to have a meltdown to not win the award.
Is a meltdown like a 3-3 game?
3-3.
Yeah,
He's even 2 interceptions. Is tough.
5-2. I think 5-2 is okay.
5-2 gets him there. 4-2 probably gets him there.
Yeah,
3-3.
that's
A
yeah,
meltdown.
Yeah. So
And
that's
he won't. Like I don't remember last time Jeff Rosenblatt threw 3 interceptions in the game.
So that's a really close matchup. But the other one is Thomas Couture versus Anthony Brisebois. What's closer? And I don't think it's close.
I say the quarterback is closer.
Yeah. So it's a somewhat easy question because Couture has like 50 more yards than Brisebois, but 9 more touchdowns. Like that's No. That's
where
running,
it's not close.
That's where it's running away with it for Biddy's.
I know I've talked about the Alex David principle that just because you catch a ball in this part of real estate, it's not necessarily more valuable. But we don't have all of the metrics, although we've added metrics.
Yeah.
9 touchdowns is a big deal.
That's significantly more. Yeah.
Jeff Rosenblatt, worst profile picture in FPF history?
No, I've seen worse, but it's not pretty.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
He looks hammered. It looks like it looks like
you picked
him like a DUI photo.
From a DUI, exactly. I like where your head at, Zico. Where does it stay in the game?
Similar to yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Division 4A, 4B, with their comeback on the last play on Monday over Centaurs, could LBB pull off the great escape and get into the playoffs? Oh God. We'll go to Ryder, huh?
The great escape.
The great escape. What are they escaping from?
From playoff contention.
From non-playoff.
Non-playoff contention.
So I think the scenario here is Bleu Braleur win their game. They end up with 6 points. Sparrows Cougars, I believe, are
they're playing each other.
Yeah, exactly. So then they would potentially tie Centaur as well.
If
could Centaur win, then it's just a head-to-head, in which case LBB pass Sparrows.
Yep. If not, there could be the dreaded three-way tie.
Of which, again, Centaur will likely get the highest seed because they have least PA, divisional record notwithstanding, because we have to figure out what's
and
going on
if it's a tie game, if Bleu Blanc win, then pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, there's no way for them to win and give up more points than Sparrows Cougars.
Exactly.
Sparrows Cougars already have more points against.
Right.
So if it's a 3-way tie, Bleu Blanc make it.
But they need to win.
Yeah. Well, it matters.
They need to win.
Well,
I mean, look, it's a plane you're in situation.
But again,
right?
you're thinking points against first, but it's divisional record.
Yeah.
First.
Fair.
So that would need to be looked at if there's a 3-way
But
tie.
even then, 3-way tie with Centaur will solve for 5th seed, and then it's a head-to-head for 6th.
And then in which case it becomes
right.
Yes.
I really like. There's a whole bunch of scenarios in there that are super important.
Now, that's if LBB beats Sparrows Cougars.
That's it. That's where it all starts.
Which I've seen both teams play. Sparrows Cougars is gonna win that game. They should win. Is how I should say it. They should beat LBB.
Yeah, provided.
Chiefs just traded for the 21 pick from the Patriots.
All right, intrigue.
Patriots, of
Film
course.
noir.
Of course, the Patriots moved down.
Yeah.
Of course.
To make it even more interesting, LBB beat Centaur this past week, right? As Mo alluded to.
Yep.
So
on the last play, yeah.
Regardless of the tiebreak situation, any head-to-head for the last seed, LBB has advantage in.
Over Centaur.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all they need to do is win, and they're in.
But so, like, they beat Nomads early in the season.
And I think it was a forfeit win.
No, they beat
Chiefs
them.
take
25
Trent McDuffie, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
Trent McDuffie goes to the Chiefs.
Oh, Trent McDuffie.
That
I
beer.
don't know if he's related to Dolphins great OJ McDuffie. OJ McDuffie, I remember announcers saying that the kicker didn't want to kick the ball to OJ McDuffie, even though he never had a kickoff return for a touchdown. That's the analysis I have for this pick.
I
don't even know what position
I'll
he plays.
compare him to the Simpsons beer of
he's a cornerback.
Oh.
He's short, so I compare him to. Has there ever been a DB called Short with the last name Short? That guy.
Oh, for sure.
Whoever that is, yes. Eagle, what's the comp?
Huh?
What's he compared to?
They haven't given one yet.
Okay.
They're showing highlights.
LBB.
LBB. So LBB is like their wins are okay. Like they kind of need it to be low scoring, it seems. And then, they beat Centaur. Centaur are a team ahead of them in the rankings. I think we all would have said Centaur is stronger than LBB.
Without Jordan Rossi? I always get the Rossies wrong.
Jordan.
Without Jordan Rossi at quarterback that game. It was Sean Submergent throwing.
Okay, that changes things too.
And they lost their snapper, Chris Brockwell. I don't know if for the season, but finger injury. Pretty gruesome one, is what I heard. So it was Mike Collard snapping in that game.
Oh, Mike's
he's good.
Before,
he's solid. Yeah,
I've seen Mike Collard snap before. He's fine. But the big issue is not having Jordan Rossi changes the team.
Right. And So you've said this countless times now. Is why is Min Tontat not playing defense? Clearly, they don't listen to the show. It's an indoor game too. Like it's just Santino Spiragna can just run on teams. He's the Michael. I wrote it in my article. He's the Mike Vick kind of right now of the Division 4A, let's call it, because Ben McMahon's Mike Vick for 4B.
And it's going to come down to whether Guillaume Hamelin can actually contain him. Guillaume Hamelin is a contained rusher, but he's not like a speedy rusher. So
compare that rusher to Gab Wiseman.
Okay, so that's your player comp.
No, it's not. I'm asking you to compare that rusher to Gab Wiseman.
Yeah, doesn't have that ridiculous wingspan that Gab Wiseman.
Because Gab Wiseman
looks like he plays on the Toronto Raptors, where everyone's just tall and lanky. That's kind of
he was getting away from Gab Wiseman.
But Gab Wiseman's not a top speed kind of rusher, right? Like he's not insanely fast. He just takes good angles.
Yeah.
But when somebody can break you just with their sheer speed, that's not Gab Wiseman.
So would you say he's more like a Labrador or a Golden Retriever?
Oh, definitely Labrador. Definitely Labrador, 100%.
Yeah, nice comp, yeah.
Listen, Retriever's too golden for him.
Although I heard they don't fight very well.
I've often heard that. But you know what? Speaking of which, you can just check with Mike Vick and see what he has to say about it. For whoever didn't get the joke in the first place.
Jesus Christ. So, are you worried about brotherhood? And we know Eagle has been.
Is, but it's
nonsense. So they lost.
Just because he hasn't watched them play this season.
I will die on that hill.
So
I don't care.
So they lost this past week to Big Fun. And Mo did a nice little analysis. So let's praise Mo where he's due credit.
I will die on that hill and not do that.
Is that he deep dive in the record books here for the season and found that in the 3 losses that Brotherhood have suffered, they've scored a total of 7 points in the second half, including just 1 point. So they returned to pick 1, I guess, against Big Fun this past week. So it looks like in games that they're close by halftime, that they're sometimes not. Well, sometimes in the losses they're not putting up the points necessary to win the games. That they're only scoring big time when they're up big, is what the kind of the stats are.
But it's kind of what they're built on is to get a lead.
You've got to be
keep the lead.
kidding me.
Green Bay didn't draft a wide receiver.
Give me.
Quay Walker. Inside linebacker from Georgia. No, it's not a bad pick, but like in the most heavy wide receiver draft you can get, you still don't fucking do it. Jesus fucking Christ.
But also, there's a whole bunch of math about why you don't draft interior linebackers in the first round.
Yeah, that's okay though.
It's considered a bad draft strategy.
Math.
Yeah. But anyway, I digress.
Ravens traded their pick to the Bills. Bills on the clock now.
I'll give you an example. Roquan Smith, also from University of Georgia, was drafted by the Bears. Do the Bears still suck? Yeah. Was their defense bad this year? Kinda, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, I digress.
So Brotherhood, worry.
I think. Look,
I
don't think they're a perfect team.
Half my body's on Eagles train. My other half of my body's on like that. I like the team, but I'm a little worried.
I'm happy you sexualized it.
I didn't.
Well, you put your body on Eagle.
No, I put it on his train. Damn it.
So, I think Brotherhood they're devastating with the lead. Like, if I can draw a comparison, if you're sitting at a poker table, there's some guys who, when they have a tall stack of chips, it's just a rough night.
Yeah.
They're the guy at the table with the tall stack of chips.
Yeah.
And if they don't get to build that stack, they get frustrated. Kwesi is still a developing quarterback, and so if Kwesi Gordon-Mall doesn't have that ability to just lean on you, then I think he's more apt to make mistakes in those circumstances. And we saw that in this game. I thought this was an easy win for Brotherhood. I didn't think Zachary Albert-Gill was the type of rusher that can contain Kwesi Gordon-Mall.
You said that on numerous occasions.
I didn't think even Eli Nolet would play well against this defense. I thought this was just a bad matchup.
That's the more impressive part, I think, is Evan really having a very good game, especially with the completion percentage. You know, what is that, 80%? 14 on 20?
Thereabouts.
Yeah, so like that's a really good game from him. Only putting up the one interception, also very key. Of course, it was Kwesi taking it to the house. Another pick six.
Yeah.
He's on his way, maybe to
He's just so fast.
Yeah, if not two-way player of the year, because now the QB stats maybe are not there for the offensive side, but defensive player of the year, he's definitely one of the.
He's had a couple of games where they just didn't put up enough points for him to win two-way, but he should win defensive player of the year. So no, I don't have more questions. To me, it's the same team they have been all season. They're better with a lead, and they struggle in closer games. That's what I think they've been, and we've seen that. Big Fun versus Bullies. Win and you're in. What are the keys to the game? From our Division 4 writer himself.
Yeah. So it's tough because they're backyard bullies. It's the game that Evan just had against Brotherhood gives me more confidence going into this game against the backyard bullies. Had he had a really tough night out, like a 3 TD 3 INT performance, I would give the edge to backyard bullies. The fact that he put up a decent game where it limited the turnovers against an athletic and jump ball kind of team and breaking on balls kind of defense, I like now Big Fun's chances to win the game over backyard bullies.
Are you surprised by backyard bullies' output this season?
With a 4-5 record?
Yeah. I thought they were one of the stronger teams starting the season. And
no, this is kind of where I saw them. So they're very good individual players. I wasn't sure of them as a unit. That was my kind of worry going in versus the rest of the teams.
But the bullies have played together for a long time in FPF.
The entire core? Or
not the
just
entire core. It's sort of like a mixed core where it's like
it's
the old guys, but now they're bringing in some youth.
Right.
You know.
Whereas the rest of these teams have mostly played like 4, if not 5 or 6, the minimum to field the team, or like to play 6-on-6, have all played together many seasons. So that was my worry going in. But I still saw them, fighting for exactly where they are right now, fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah, for sure. The other question I want to ask is regarding this situation: could the small giants get sucked into sort of this playoff equation?
So 5-3-1, they have 11 points. Look, they've clinched the playoffs, so they're in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Why would they get sucked in? What's their game? It's against Blackouts, so potential loss. It's very very possible.
DeHaan Dodgson goes to the Bills.
DeHaan Daxton. I was waiting for DeHaan Daxton to get picked, and I was waiting for this to update on my screen so I know what position he plays, so I can give really good analysis. Eagle, what position does he play?
I'm still waiting for it too.
We don't know. DeHaan Daxton, really good guy. High character.
Does he sound like he plays offense or defense? He sounds like an offensive player to me.
Okay, I'm going to go defense.
Buffalo?
I'll go kicker.
Buffalo? In the first round.
Why not?
Buffalo doesn't need a kicker.
Fair. That's a good point.
Buffalo's a good team, so I don't know what they need more. I think they need maybe off.
He's not even in the best fit.
Yeah, so the Bills traded for this pick with the Ravens.
Yes, you said that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Also, Matt Ryan got traded.
Yes, 3 months ago. 1 month ago.
So anyway, so
small giant.
but he's a good character player, and that's what's important for the Bills.
He's like a small giant.
He's a glue guy. He's a small giant, exactly.
Yeah.
So do they get sucked into this playoff mess?
I don't know what that means.
Don't know what that means either.
They get sucked in. They're in the playoffs, even if they lose.
Get sucked in?
No.
Answer the question.
No, they don't get sucked in. They're in the playoffs
because Big Fun can't catch them.
Neither can backyard bullies.
So
they're not getting sucked in anywhere. So to me,
no.
No. In
fact, if they win or lose, I don't think it really changes anything, right?
It literally changes.
They can move up.
They can move up.
Okay, but then what? They play Bruins with the home advantage versus the away.
Starting with the ball or not?
Who cares?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Kair Elam.
Are you gonna start with the ball guy or not?
No,
me neither.
I defer.
I always there's such an advantage to starting with the ball in the second half.
Yeah, just especially because
if you're down, it's better, and if you're up, it's much better.
Yes,
There's never a circumstance where starting with the ball is better.
Exactly, because you're not starting with the ball with a 0-0 game. You have context to the game. So
even if it's tied, you get the ball with less time on the clock.
Yeah, like it's just
there's not a circumstance.
In every way, it's better to start on defense. Are
you a start with the ball or start on defense guy?
I like starting on defense.
Yeah.
We just broke down. There's another inefficiency in FPF. There's no point taking the ball to start the game.
So the better question, real quick, is to at least talk about Small Giants for a bit. Is that they're playing blackouts. They're playing one of the top-ended teams going into the playoffs. Now that I like those games because you're relaxed. You know you made the playoffs. It's not a lose, and you might not make it.
So what's your strategy going in? Do you want to just get your offense on track, let's say, or do you try and run plays you haven't run successfully this season?
I don't.
Given that it's kind of like a quote unquote free game.
So offensively, no, I wanna make sure that like my playbook, my routes I wanna make sure everyone's like on the same page we have been all season, so we can be like that for the playoffs. It's more on defense. I wanna maybe shake things up, see if something works or doesn't, especially against a real good team like.
So I don't play defense as famous on the show, but on offense, what I like to do is I'll try and run a lot of my concepts, but like not from trips, not from quads, to see what it looks like. Right. So it's the same plays, but also just give it a different look. So if I need to call something, but the defense has already seen it, can I mask it come playoff time?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
That was all I had to say about that until my computer starts cooperating again. Yeah. We're back.
So
do you think Team Ethnic can sneak into the playoffs in 4?
Man, I heard Mo last week, and I saw him when we were scorekeeping. Team Ethnics had a bit of a rough 4 or 5 weeks, not including this one because they won this week pretty handedly over Bandits. What's the question? Is that could they sneak into the playoffs? And if yes, who's on the outs? Well, I think he asked that before yesterday's games because they played Bandits. Did Bandits get eliminated from playoff contention here? Is that on? Nope, not yet on the screen. Bandits 4-6. They officially got eliminated by that loss to Team Ethnic. So Team Ethnic has clinched a playoff spot. So great question, Mo. So so now that they're in, I think
you say they had a rough season.
Can they do damage?
I'm shocked that they're 5-5. I thought they were struggling way more, and their offense is good.
Yeah,
the defense is porous.
Yeah, there's holes like Swiss cheese.
It's wild.
Yeah. Although is it that they're like strong on one side with Paranto and Will Bissonnette?
Their problems are conceptual and disciplinary.
Yeah.
It's not personnel. It's not lack of players.
Yeah.
It's that they either some of the players give up too much territory and some players cheat too much, and the holes become giant.
Right.
And I saw that when I played against them, but also saw them in watching them play. That's where I got the idea of what to do against them, and it worked because it's exactly what I expected. Yep. You know what I mean? So like, it's a problem I don't think is correctable in season.
So I think that they are a matchup dependent
team. I was just gonna say, are they the most matchup dependent team in 4B?
Because they can put up the points.
Yeah.
They like in a blink of an eye, you saw it. You played against. You didn't play against it on the field, but you saw it. That 40 bomb to Will Bissonnette, a 5-yard hook to Will Bissonnette can become a 40-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. But
he's really good, by the way.
He's nasty. I saw him put up 4 TDs in the Loyola Dome last week.
The route running's fine. It's just that top end speed is pretty impressive.
But it's yes, agreed. But it's also the route running.
Yeah. But it's just hard to make those cuts at that speed, and then can do it.
Yeah, and then grabbing it. He's not a huge guy. He's like my size type of guy. Jumping in the air, sideline tiptoe, bang bang, feet
and like there's times where Lawler throws balls where it's like him or nobody.
Yes,
and
yeah.
And I thought that ball's out of bounds. Like, he got it.
Yeah, it's like, that's way overthrown. You know, you can throw a flag and it would be picked up because it's an uncatchable ball, and then he'll catch it for a touchdown. So yeah, I think they can put up the points. When there's a recipe for them to go far into the playoffs, but that recipe is who they play against.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be key for them. Los Locos in a good position to get into the playoffs.
So I analyzed that. They had a game this past week, their 10th of the season. They've now clinched a playoff spot. It was against Mofos.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about it last week as well, is that they're both two new FPF teams, yet Mofos looked a little more organized. Los Locos were a bit more disorganized and not... The thing is, Los Locos won. They beat them. But they didn't have their real quarterback, not even someone who's eligible to play throwing for them, Will Trazi. So it's a bit of a, hey, can you help us get into the playoffs? But too bad you can't help us when we're in the playoffs.
It's helping them get there.
Sure, but it's not, does it mean anything?
It doesn't help them in any way because it's less reps for the quarterback. It gives them an unrealistic feeling of
it's the
competition.
It's the same. I'll say it's the same number of reps because I think Mofos would have won by the opposite score, mind you, like 33-27 for Mofos had the quarterback, their starting QB played. Yeah. But now he's getting a playoff game. So he's getting the same amount of reps, but now in a playoff. But
yeah.
It doesn't mean much that they made the playoffs because I don't know. You never know, right? You get in the playoffs and see what can happen.
Tyler Smith to the Cowboys.
All right. Tyler Smith.
Another very white name. Is he also?
He's very black.
Yes.
Tyler Smith, another offensive lineman from Tulsa. You know what they say about offensive linemen from Tulsa? They block. This guy blocks. So many blocks, he's basically Lego.
Like a pancake. Yeah. The pancake block. I just know that from like a Madden stat.
Yeah. It's when you basically make a cookie in a pan. That's a pancake block.
Flatten them.
What do chefs and offensive tackles have in common?
Pancakes.
They chop.
Yeah. Not bad. That's actually not bad.
Okay.
That's not bad.
They pancake.
Yeah. That's what I went with.
There's another joke here. I wasn't going to go for it.
Conference B is a mess. Golden Eagles, Honey Martin, they seem to be in a strong position. Can they lock in for seeds 3 and 4? Mokan question.
So I think I believe if I'm doing the calculations right, we clinched a playoff spot, Honey Martin and Golden Eagles, both those teams. So are they? Is the question? Are they locked in? That depends on who Voodoo plays, and then if there's like 3-way tiebreakers and all
so
that.
I was gonna say Voodoo, well rather Arush has 2 games in hand, so they can go up to 10. And then there's the possibility as well. Voodoo can win, tie you guys. Technically, Finessers can win and tie you guys.
No.
Yes.
No, by wins, by just virtue of wins.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yeah. So you get into tiebreak scenarios. Yeah, you're right. But there's still like a whole big question mark. Like Hot Sauce Sports could technically win in that 6-point group. So as much as you like, it could go to that 8 to. Yeah, it's just very strange. There's a bunch of tiebreaks I haven't run either, all the scenarios.
Yeah, so look, I just saw Golden Eagles are playing Voodoo. Honey Martin played Voodoo. I think they're similar teams. Now that the Golden Eagles have
Wouldn't that be amazing if they leapfrog you?
Who?
Voodoo.
We beat them.
A tie, which won't happen.
So here's an interesting thing with Golden Eagles. I think they made a mistake by not picking one quarterback to go with to replace Kevin Lubin. Because I think they now made the mistake that Sarah Parker has 3 games played and Felix Goulet has 3 games played. And neither, even if they play the next game, are playoff eligible. So
that's rough. But here's the thing. Kevin Lubin's good enough to win games in FPF. I don't know why he wasn't. I don't know.
Why he wasn't winning games this year.
Yeah, they should have been better.
Yeah, but you lose him as a receiver, so it's one.
But
less.
he started in FPF basically as a quarterback.
Okay.
Took the Golden Eagles to a 10-0 record in Division 5.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But
FPF's changed since then.
He's been playing like he knows the schemes that work in FPF now. Yeah. He has good athleticism still. He has a good arm still. Like there's not a reason for them to have been struggling with him at quarterback.
It's not it's not the top caliber arm. It's okay.
It's my guy. Like look who you're talking to.
I know, but I'm talking about the division. I'm talking about 4B. in general.
For 4B, he's fine.
Yeah.
Just,
No.
just
Don't get me
athletically
wrong.
and his
Don't
arm
get me
talent
wrong.
and whatever.
Yeah.
And his knowledge.
Yeah.
They should have been more competitive.
I was
With him at quarterback. So, like
they
if they
were
make the
0-5.
playoffs with him at quarterback, they should be fine. They should be. They should be. They should be fine.
Let's see. If they win, they'll be in the 3rd seed. They would be playing a team like Arush or Voodoo right now.
Hey, relax. Hot Sauce Sports.
Has something to say.
Yeah. Hot Sauce Sports was like a word. I hate that I got injured the worst part of the season.
Are you not eliminated?
We're technically not.
Oh, no, you're not.
It takes...
Yes.
Arush has to do some really stupid things, but...
Yeah.
We-
Well, what about Voodoo? Did you play Voodoo?
we lost to Voodoo.
Oof. So Arush has to lose both games. One is
Yeah.
Vultures. Probably going to lose.
The other one is Sphinx.
Oh. Is it outdoors?
It shouldn't matter.
It's
Sphinx should have lost that game last week. But anyway, I digress.
yeah.
You were there.
It is outdoors.
Yeah.
It's outdoors. You never know.
So do you think Cloutier looked good outdoors on Sunday?
He looked better outdoors than indoors.
Really?
Yep. Yep. I'll give him that.
Can I no comment the rest of 4B?
That was the last topic.
Can I
of
just no comment?
4B.
Okay, good.
That was the last.
No comment the rest of 4B.
Boom.
I honestly thought he struggled a lot.
Yeah, but he's looked like that all season, and I'm telling you, he looked better outdoors last week than the couple times that I saw him.
I think
week
you're
2,
also underestimating
three.
how bad the Hot Sauce Sports defense has been all season.
Maybe. That's a storyline in its own after you beefed it up with Alexis Dubois.
Yeah.
Except he's
He's
shoving people in the face for
he
DPI
punched the guy in the face for a DPI.
in the end zone.
Yeah.
But you stopped them on 4 downs at the one.
They scored on 4th.
Oh, they scored on
win-
4th.
to win the game, yeah.
Oh, yes. No.
Yeah, they scored on 4th to win the game on their last offensive
But that
play.
wasn't that drive.
Yeah, correct. We stopped them on the one.
stopped them on the one for 4 straight plays, yes.
Yeah, it's been a tough season.
Yep.
It's been a tough season.
Yep.
But it's a game I believe, and maybe this is my unearned confidence, which I'm known for. I believe if I played quarterback, we would have won the game.
Yep, I think so.
If I wasn't injured, because George gets to play receiver, and not quarterback.
Yeah,
he's not an FPF quarterback, so he's learning on the fly.
Was that his first quarterback game?
I coached him in FPF junior, so he has some experience and some
He's
experience
that
in the
young?
system. Yeah.
He looks like my age.
No,
he
he's
looks like me.
He's playing at McGill right now, so he's
Oh shit.
young.
Okay.
And I believe it's his first or second game throwing an FPF adult league. I think he also subbed for me in a previous season where I got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's tough.
yeah,
Yeah, it's tough to come in outdoors. Yeah, that wasn't easy. And yes, you probably win the game with you at quarterback.
Yeah.
35 plus.
35 plus.
We had
It's
a
over.
championship finals.
Stephen
going on.
Harperside gets his 35 plus crown.
He never had it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's no. I'm pretty sure he's won it once.
Mandela effect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
He gets he gets a 35 plus crown, whether it's his first or another one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not his
With the
first.
way they started, with the way Old Age Outlaws started, I didn't think that would come to be.
It was I didn't see the game, but I saw the play-by-play. They were down 13-0 after the first 4 possessions of the game.
And that's been an evolution in Stephen Harperside's game. He
Yes.
wasn't a quarterback who's excelled at coming from behind.
That's why I noted it, because you've said this on numerous occasions, and I agreed with you at a couple years.
But
seasons
there's
past. He's changed.
it's hard to say
He's
he's one of the
changed.
most improved players in FPF because he was so good to begin with, but his growth from when he started to now is inspiring. It's something to say it's nothing short of inspiring.
Yep.
The fact that this guy can improve that much that quickly,
to now be throwing in Division 2
it's
of
it's
FPF,
incredible.
It's
And-
Tyler Lindenbaum goes to the Ravens.
Oh, he's Tyler Lindenbaum. He's a great offensive lineman from the state of Iowa. And you know what they say about Iowa linemen? They wear black, they wear gold, they block. He's going to go to the Ravens.
Did he go to the Ravens?
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah? Okay. Oh, it's the
I read it off the screen.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this about me. I can read English.
Can you though?
Not well. So he
yeah, so that was
So first of all, when we had Carmen Palicia on last week,
Yep.
he talked about how there was upsets in the previous round.
yes. Yeah.
And so this kind of set up in a positive way for Old Age Outlaws. That said, Oli scored on the 40 bomb, and that's another thing
fourth down. Yeah.
Fourth down, and that's a thing that Karim Palice warned about. Was said that if J. Oli has that deep ball going, he's the tough quarterback to beat.
Yeah, and actually, it's just the way Steven came back, because it's not just that they scored 2 touchdowns. He threw 2 picks on the first 2 drives. So like you throw 2 picks, they convert and get the points off turnovers. It's like, crap, I'm just letting my team down in the biggest game of the year. And he didn't let him phase him. He scored on the next play or on the next drive. His team, I believe it was Anthony Sija, got a pick to give Steven the ball back, and he scored within 2 or 3 plays because they were pretty close to the end zone. Converted for 2 points on both. So being down quickly, from being down 13-0, you're up 16-13 because he converted the 2 points twice.
Which we talked about earlier is efficiency on converts, right?
It's crazy, and like even if you go for 1. And like you make both, it's like a 1-point game. Now it's a 3-point game.
It feels a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's Shenanigans did the thing they wanted to do. They wanted to go deep, and they did, and it got to an early lead. And then Stephen Harper settled down, played his game, and the proof is in the pudding. Chris Hope had a great second half of the season in 35 plus. Yeah. Their boy Dave DeAndre delivered as well. Really, I was surprised that Josh Levine, who is Stephen Harper's cohort in MFL, I was surprised to see him not have a more active role on the team. But it's just because well the team is built, right?
It's just the way, and he's doing that more often now. Even Enzo Bellini's on that team.
Yeah,
not a single catch in like the past 2 or 3 games,
which is crazy because he's really good.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it caters to and just speaks to Stephen Haraprasad's offensive game plan. It's just, I'm getting to the ball to whoever's open, and he also builds a team that he has good ball catchers.
It would be a shame to talk about this game without talking about the finals MVP, Anthony Figia.
Yep.
Yeah.
4 for 5, 24 yards, but more importantly, 2
picks.
interceptions, 2 PDs, and 3 tackles.
Yeah,
I love Anthony. He's a guy who was like a stalwart in Division 6, Division 5, not as well known, but dude plays hard. He's quicker than he looks.
He's big,
and he's bigger than he is.
Shoulder, that shoulder wide.
He's all shoulders. I'm convinced his shoulders end at his ankles. Like, that's just his body type.
Yeah. So yeah, he spearheaded the comeback with the pick that gave somewhat of a short field for Haraprasad to score the first touchdown, and then from there, kind of just that's where they got the wheels rolling. With really what inspired was Siege's first pick.
His biceps are the size of Steven's head.
In width.
It's a good comparison because you see one right over the other.
Exactly.
It's perfectly framed.
Yeah.
Some good forced perspective there too.
Damn.
I like that. No, CJ's great, man. Honestly, really good player, and he's been running FPF for a long time. So I'm happy for him to get a championship here. It's been cool to watch.
The other game,
Jason Rossi was perfect.
Yeah, not much more to say.
6 touchdowns. The best team won. So I will say this.
Yeah.
Scott Binns. We didn't talk about him all season. Really, really good, useful player. Not the fastest, not the quickest, but just always in the right place, the right time. Knows how to use space well on offense. Knows how to sit in the zone. Knows how to use his body to shield the defender, make a catch. Very dependable for Jason Rossi. A huge game in this game. Mm-hmm. Almost 100 yards. I would imagine Jason Rossi got MVP.
I believe that's
correct.
He
did.
Yes.
Yeah, he
that's
did. He had 4.
shocking.
He contributed on defense with 4 sacks as well.
I didn't think there's a way JMJ can win this game.
Yeah, very little road to victory there.
I was talking to Yavar Ashrafi this morning.
Yeah.
And so I congratulated him, and he says, he's like, early on in the game, like, Jason threw me a deep ball, and the ball seemed like it was in the air forever. And I said, I've had 2 experiences playing in the final. In the final, one was as a quarterback, and one was as a receiver. As a quarterback,
snapper.
A snapper, yeah. as a quarterback.
Jermaine Johnson goes to the Jets. By the way.
Jermaine Johnson,
Right.
Edge rusher for FSU. Listen, man.
FKU.
Yeah, false king. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. You know what? Everyone wanted Jermaine Johnson, great edge rusher. I think not. FSU, more like FKU.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all the analysis I have on him. So the thing with what were we talking about?
Yavar with the deep ball, and you.
My two experiences. My two experiences was
at quarterback.
At quarterback.
When you were quarterback in the finals.
In the fall.
When in the fall. Yes.
And the game slowed down in like a positive way, which is cool. It was a cool experience.
Yeah. Out of body experience.
Yeah, like it was wild. It's an addictive feeling to have. I got to say, I see why people keep coming back to FPF. Yeah. I always knew it, but it sold it to me again. As a receiver, it's still done in the worst way possible. Like the ball is just in the air and everything is running through your head all the time. God. I don't remember the game exactly. I don't think I had a drop, but every time the ball was in the air, it's like someone's coming to undercut me. Someone's going to pick me up. Someone's going to roll me over. I'm going to drop this ball. And he's the same thing. He's like, the piece. He's like, you don't understand how long the ball was in the air. I'm like, Jordan, like Jason throws hard.
Yeah.
The ball's not actually in the air for that long. I promise you.
It's
but
not a slow ball.
It has that feeling because there's the additional pressure of not wanting to let people down.
Yeah.
And it's like a quarterback, you literally, your mind doesn't let that enter your system. But as a receiver, you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
You can't help yourself.
Yeah, because you don't have the ball in your hands.
Yeah, like you're not in control of the elements. Absolutely. Yeah. And so it was a cool experience for him there.
Yeah. And he got that one touchdown. That ball was a 21-yard.
And it was a catch. It was a touchdown. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like it's, I gotta say, 35 plus is the only league where Yavar can get open deep, I imagine, because he's a great player, by the way. He's just not a fast player.
Well, James Acker, on the other hand, is pretty fast.
Yeah.
He had 3 for 7, 72 yards and a TD and a pick 6 as well. So he was a key contributor for Pacemakers.
Yeah, and well, Pacemakers exactly. They had a combination of players with good speed, good experience, good size, strong quarterback play. It's everything you wanted across the board.
Yeah, they had everything.
They have the size that gives Chris Olsen a specific difficulty in that it's against. Look, he's a shorter dude. It's harder to see over tall rushers. Yep. It's hard to see in coverage at times when you have such tall defenders.
Yep.
And he doesn't have the strongest arm, so I imagine this was a difficult game for him, and that's what the scoreboard shows. Good fight in the second half, but just not enough.
Yeah.
And that concludes our coverage for 35 plus for the season.
Yep. Moving to Division 5.
Do you give Streets Ahead any chance to pull off an upset over Reed and sneak into the playoffs?
Ooh, that's a tough ask. The Reed are legit. They're Sparrows Cougars on steroids. No, I don't give them much of a chance.
They were all coached by Sparrows Cougars.
Yeah.
That's the way that all worked out.
Yeah. Yes, my analysis there was
there we go.
Like warranted. It was based on knowledge. Look, Streets Ahead.
I'm doing that for the audience, Iggy, not you. You know that, right? Like you know that we're speaking to an audience.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Just to be clear, I know that you're an FPF writer.
Yeah. No.
Is it the seat? Did you catch Mokan? Like, is that touch and catch it? Like, is that what that is?
Can I drop Mokan? Was Mokan dropped?
Yeah, almost exclusively.
Like as a child?
Was he dropped?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Not giving them much chance. Look, they do hold the tiebreaker over Vultures 2.0, but I'm not sure about that in a 3-way tie. Looks like Mighty 6, if ever all 3 teams were to lose, Mighty 6 has then divisional record comes into play. That has to.
But also, it would be the first time the Reed lost, right? Like, so it's hard to predict that happening. Given that it's literally never happened.
Right, exactly. And so how come then it's a good question if now that the Reed is 9-0 and it hasn't happened, but it was a bad question when Blessed lost. So does that?
I also said that was a bad question.
Yeah, I know, but now it's
they're both bad questions.
Oh, okay.
That's my point.
Oh, okay, yes.
Because again, the results don't.
Yes.
They dictate the result, but they only dictate the result. They don't dictate what the team's caliber
else,
is,
yes,
right?
Outside of that one game, yes. So no, that's a real tough matchup for them, for anyone, and so no. Now Kings of the North, they're coming off a win over Vultures 2.0, but they don't want to say that they brought in a ringer of a quarterback. They brought in a quarterback that hasn't played for them all season. As that game loads, I'm not sure who it was, but he was good. He was good.
Jimbo. I know
Jimbo. He's played receiver for them this year.
Yeah.
He's put up some nice, decent numbers.
He's played quarterback for me in my FPF
He's
career.
good.
He replaced our quarterback tore his ACL, and he was brought in. He was at one point one of the top slingers in FPF.
Yeah. He was making his reads real quick, slinging the ball.
He's a very good systemic quarterback.
Yeah.
He doesn't vary from his system. So if you figure it out, he's beatable. If you don't know who he is, he will destroy you.
Yeah.
So Kings of the North have the Mighty Six and Goofy Goobers left on their schedule. They need to win at least one of those games to have a chance in tying against Longhorns. There is no head-to-head, so it would go divisional or PA depending on what actually ends up happening there.
Yep.
And right now they have a minus 53 in terms of lower points against the Longhorns. So more than that actually. I'm sorry, 90. I picked the wrong team. They have 90 under. So in the next two games, if they average less than 45 points against, they would, on a PA, be better. And their divisional record, again, we got to figure out the math and everything, would potentially put them over Longhorns with one. With 2 wins, they can go as high as third.
Okay.
From 8th.
Yeah. That's...
It's a pretty big swing.
Now... Oh, and he has enough games played to be their QB come playoff time
because he's
played receiver. So that
was the normal quarterback there.
I don't think so. Hugo Quinton?
Yeah.
No, I don't. He's really tall.
I
don't know what he looks like other than his FPF picture.
Same.
And I don't believe he was there. No. So,
but that changes the team.
But why would you, even if he is there?
Well, because some
Jaguars
teams are like,
Devin
that's our
Lloyd.
quarterback, right? Sorry?
Jaguars took Devin Lloyd, I think.
Oh, Devin Lloyd. You got to love a guy who has 2 L's to start his name.
Like Brandon Lloyd.
Yes.
Same last name.
NFL comp. Same kind of player.
Yeah.
Because the L's.
The L's. Why did you like
my voice? I've been speaking for over 3 hours at this point.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Yeah.
So Mighty Six, Goofy. Look, they're tough matchups, but with him at quarterback, they have a chance. They have a chance.
I believe he has an FPF championship as a quarterback. And it was slightly pre-P's era. It was right before pre-P's era. I think he won 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Which is over a decade ago now. Jesus.
Yeah.
That happened quickly. That
Mighty Six game is going to be close. I can see it being like a 26-24 type of game. The Goofy Goobers one is a little less. That's a little harder to predict.
Yeah.
There's been good Goofy Goobers.
And bad.
Really
it's
good.
really week to week.
Yeah.
It's really
There's
week to
been
week.
really good Goofy Goobers where, Max Bura is just making ridiculous plays out there. Kevin Samuta's mossing guys, pick sixes, who are scoring 80 yards.
80 yards. He's so good he scores twice.
80-yard wheels.
It might as well be because you're not catching him anyway.
So that's tough. Look, what if they just win one game? Can they make it in with one? They'd be 4-5, 8 points. Longhorns.
It's tie breaks based on divisional record in PA.
Yeah.
It's still very likely though.
Yeah. So it's possible.
That was a huge win for them.
Yeah, against Vultures. Yeah, I was there. I had to be there only half the game, and then the next game was the big fight in Division.
How
6.
come you were only there half the game?
Because I was scheduled for 6 and 7. But it's my fault. That is not
on
FPF.
Fine.
I joined the Vultures 2.0 after the schedule had come out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Are you buying into Metaverse? They're 4-1 in games decided by 4 points or less.
Yeah. They're good. They're. Am I buying into them as an 8-1 team? Is that kind of what the question is?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
The talent is there. Jonathan Perez is playing super well.
Yeah, he's
not-
improved. He's improved
Yeah.
a lot from his first days at QB.
Look, the Noah Groper, Ari Vazov are great. Kowalski is an underrated snapper in FPF.
Oh, he's snapping for that. Okay,
Yeah.
so then the times I've seen them play, he wasn't.
Jacob
wasn't
Boyd. Well, again, Jacob
Oh,
Boydman
right,
to
it
me is the
was
most
Jake- yeah.
underused snapper in the history of
Yeah.
FPF.
Yeah.
So like whatever, it's a fine sub.
Yeah.
But
Oh wow. Okay. Because I've seen them like 2 or 3 times, and I've never seen them with Corey. So I'm okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a big believer.
from a
now.
roster perspective, yes, I will
Yeah.
say that. As I say all the time, winning close games is not a skill. It has more to do with context and luck than anything else. Because if you split those games, let's say instead of going 4-1, they're 2-3. They're still a 7 or 6 win team at this point, and likely
Yeah.
a 7 win team to end the season, as they will end the season against Los Bandidos. I give them the edge. Yeah, again, the results don't change what I think about the team per se. They are the results they've had are the results I expected them to have. I expect them to be one of the top tier teams, and they are. So,
Yeah.
To me,
That's a
playing
big
that
win
level.
against Wubba Lubba W's. They're really good as well.
Scrappy, and
yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, that's a lot of that.
Just like your mother-in-law. Hey-oh.
Can I no comment the rest of my household?
The triple slants is becoming like widely used
Yeah.
play now, and and they're a team that use it
Over and
effective
over and over.
and effectively is the key
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Teaching it to new receivers, by the way, is the bane of my
yeah,
existence.
yeah.
Knowing where to stop.
Sit and stop.
Yeah.
It's not just keep going slants.
Don't run into another player
Yeah,
on your
yeah,
team,
yeah,
please.
yeah.
Don't run it 50 yards deep either.
Yeah, it's 1 to 2 yards.
It should be called triple dragon stops.
Yeah.
Instead of triple slants.
Yeah,
Where were we?
seeds. I'm
Obviously.
planting some more seeds.
All right, who'll finish the 3 seed in Conference B? Goobers, Banditos, Wubbas. Let's
So
go.
who-
Let's go quick through the rest of the script here.
Yeah, we're almost done here. Between Goobers, it's Banditos and Wubba Lubba.
Mm-hmm.
Those he put Banditos. Banditos. I like. Look, I'm not gonna
Or
go
Kings
through-
of the North.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. You see, like we're not gonna do the full schedule breakdown that we usually do. It's just
The gut feel.
Let's
I have
just
the
say
music ready if you want to.
Of those 3 teams, who's the most representative of a 3 seed? I'm giving it to Wubba Lubba Dubs.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised to see them about 500. I
Yeah,
thought they
actually.
they would be stronger.
Yeah, like 7
Uh,
and 3.
But I think they're a team. They're kind of like one of those teams that's gonna be a tough out come playoff time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely see them as a 3 seed. Among the 9-1 teams, who is the best? Lockdown 4-1 in games decided by 6 points or less. Speakeasy or Trap Stars. Air Force One could be included if they win on Saturday. Air Force One to me is a team that had sort of some misfortune with COVID and rescheduled games, and we forgot how good they are. They're probably the top of the class in the division.
So we saw them last night. They had a padding stats kind of game against Bin, 60-0.
I want to point out that their plus minus is 274 points.
Yep.
In 9 games, sorry.
Because of a 60-0 pounding last night.
Yeah.
Tara's like, "What division is this?" I'm like, "It's 5B." They're like, "No." She's like, "No, it's not."
She's
like,
right. It's
she's
not.
like, "That's not a 5B team." I'm like,
Air Force One is not a 5B.
no, it's not.
It's the reason Eagle will be crying on the Night of the Road show when Lockdown doesn't win the championship.
Yeah. So, but
It's that's the matchup you can't win, right?
Yep.
That's the one
I'm
team
hoping
where
for a miracle.
Yeah, I can legitimately see Lockdown beating any of the teams in Division 5B except Air Force One.
Well,
there's not a universe. If this is played across all of the alternate universes, across all of the Mandela effect,
none.
In no circumstance where they win.
No.
It's the worst matchup.
The hope is Simon Blais can't make that game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Team Sexy beats them because of the athleticism.
Because they did beat them once.
Yeah, they can.
Like in week
I think
2,
Simon
though.
Blais wasn't there also, but
Yeah.
Oh.
It was, but it was Emil Scaff.
it's not the same.
It's not. Yeah. It's
Simon
true.
Blais is not.
Yeah.
He should not be throwing in Division 5. Simon Blais is
So-
Division 3 and up quarterback easily.
Well, hold on.
easily.
Because you know we'll make it quick. You know the story. They played in Division 6, went 10-0. They went to the finals. They won. They
so rolling snaps in Division 6 the first time in my life.
Yeah.
Not
they then they moved up the next season. I think it was 4, but they went like 1-9.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, let's go back. To
I'm not saying they're doing this wrong. Like,
yeah.
They did the right thing to register in Division 5.
Yeah.
They didn't put themselves in 5B. The cap put them in 5B.
Exactly.
It's fine. I'm not saying they're div dodgers.
No. Yeah, I know.
I think play if you played in Division 4, because also don't forget Division 4 is what Division 5 plus kind of, right?
Because they were with the Sunday Touch boys, Honey Martin and Vultures. And we all started there, so they didn't know, but they should be in 4, and they would be 7-3, 6-4 type of team, and which is good.
They'd be a good 4B team.
Yeah, so they're the class of Division 5B, but let's keep it between Lockdown and Trap Stars. That's a tighter question.
Slight edge to Lockdown.
Slight edge, yeah.
It's very slight.
Yeah.
I think that's a good matchup for Lockdown. Conversely, So if that were like, well, are you guys on the same side of the bracket?
No,
right. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So like that's the championship game you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think you're happy with that.
And it's still a close.
It'll be a I'm not saying it's a dominant.
No.
Like you're not going to have a dominating performance.
You said slight edge. Yeah.
But like playoffs, you're looking to win a game in the final drive. That's what you want.
Yep.
That's if you're lucky, you get to win by 2 scores. You're never going to see a dominating team other than maybe Division 6 where we just don't have the information going into the season.
Yep.
Except if Air Force One gets to the finals, in which case they're going to dominate probably whoever's there.
Yep.
They're good. They're really good. So
yeah.
To me, they're the best team in the division, and we just sort of forgot about them for a second because they didn't have all the games played.
No receiver for Green Bay.
Devontae Wyatt from Georgia.
Well,
not Devontae Adams.
The good news about Devontae Wyatt is he shares the name with Devontae Adams, so maybe
he could be.
They could turn him into a receiver. I've seen him play. No, he's very much a defensive line. He's a very good defensive lineman, but that's what he is. Yeah. Happy to see all these Georgia Bulldogs go in the first round. It warms my heart.
Good for you.
Warms my heart.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted again for some reason.
Yeah.
Is there a major disparity with the Big Four teams and the rest of the playoff back? Yes, for Air Force One.
Yeah.
Yes, for Lockdown and Trap Stars, I think are also up there. Speakeasy, maybe a little matchup dependent. Do you think?
Yeah. It's just it's maybe that's not the right question. That's why I'm hesitating with it. It's just that they're a step below. Look, Air Force One, and then you have Lockdown and Trap Stars, and then
like a mini tier and then another mini tier.
And then you have the line gets crossed, and then you have Speakeasy there. Yeah, that's kind of how I see that breakdown.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think they could be had in the playoffs. They're one of the teams. Let's put it this way: if they were to have if they were to be upset in the first round, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would, yeah, exactly.
I would be shocked if the other 3 teams were to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's kind of how I see
I would be shocked if they had a first round exit to teams like Red Dragons, Threat Level, Midnight, and Bins. I would be surprised.
Well, like Bins, yeah, I'd be surprised if it was Bins, but I can see them losing to Red Dragons or Threat Level Midnight. There are games where they show up and there's games where they don't.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what it is. But like, look, that hasn't been the case this season. They've been great. I don't want to disparage their season because the defense
you're speaking about their franchise.
Yeah, the franchise.
Yes.
Historically,
yes.
But Vincent Richard has been good. Matsui Ume, when he's there, we know Matsui Ume.
Yeah. He has the speed. He might be the fastest player in the conference.
Yeah. It's a team across the board I think is really good. I just think they're lacking that top tier talent to make them dominant week in, week out.
Yep.
Although they haven't. And again, especially defensively, their offensive stats are actually padded by how good their defense is because they put their offense in good position.
Yes.
They have 2 pick sixes as well. It's a kind of defense where even when they're not getting a pick six, they're continuously putting their team in a good position.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Mo's going to ask the next question.
Yeah,
I'm Mo today.
I was going to go.
With Team Sexy, 2 Pfizers, Warriors, what could have been all fighting for spots 3 to 6. What are the worst matchups for these teams facing each other in the playoffs?
So, yeah, basically just saying why is there do they get the buys?
There are buys, yes.
Yeah, 1 and 2 buys.
Right. So we're just talking about first round matchups here. So between those 4 teams. Well, Eagle, actually, I'm kind of surprised with what could have been. You were you there for that game?
I was not there for that one.
You were in Texas. So I'm surprised they're 5-4. Team Sexy, I saw them early on. They look like athletic, but maybe they're facing more knowledgeable teams here.
They're gonna lose based on their lack of knowledge, which is fine. They're learning.
Yeah, I think the team with the most.
They're gonna do it in style.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're gonna do it sexily.
Yeah. Nice word.
With great sex.
With great sex.
With great sex comes great responsibility. Wear condoms, people.
I thought the same thing. I actually think the seeds 5 and 6 are the more experienced and the more dangerous teams.
Warriors have championship pedigree.
Yeah, they
in Division 6 and in the fall.
Yep, exactly. So I like those 2 matchups versus the higher seeds actually. So I wouldn't see it so much as an upset, even though the seeding would call it an upset.
Just because of how close these teams are, I don't think there's an upset on this side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Right, like again, Save or Speakeasy, we were talking about them. Like, those teams are better than sort of the next 3 teams.
Yep.
But I don't think you can say that with these 4 here. I think these 4 are pretty much evenly matched.
Yeah, exactly.
Say the Turtles, thanks for coming out. Great for season Division 5, but
damn, yeah.
I
said that this was the division move for them.
Yeah, but they're about 500. Like, it's fine.
Exactly. That's the thing with FPF. This is not a bad season. 4 and 6.
4 and 6 and 6 and 4 in me generate division.
Exactly. And
without debate.
And while you might not see it as a good thing right now, you're going to see it next season and the seasons after. You're going to be saying it's thanks to this season that we're able to grow and be a better team.
Well, not only that, but also the teams that are above you are likely going to get promoted, in which case now you are the top dog, right? And you have your chance.
Games of the...
Nice. I can keep going. I just...
Let's see how long it goes.
No.
I'll eat your candies.
Enjoy.
Let's go through these. There's not as many as usual because week 11 is a little bit all over the place. But we're going to start with Division 1 and 2. Outlaws, Urgence Medic.
Ooh, Urgence Medic, though.
No, give me Outlaws to
really
finish the season on a high note.
Let's hope so.
The Apocalypse, KGP.
KGP.
Yeah, KGP.
Party Crashers, B-Ballers.
This one's good.
Ballers.
Give me Party Crashers.
Got Skills, Braves.
Braves.
Flag Sack, All-Stars.
Ooh, FMS.
Flag Sack by 93.
It's a good game.
Team Swoosh, Terror Squad.
Terror Squad, yeah. That's not close.
Incredibles, Gryffindor. Hashtag NR, All Hooks.
All Hooks?
Nah, give me NR. Hashtag.
Division 3, Killa Bees, Silent Ticklers.
Silent Ticklers.
That's
good game, though.
Yeah.
Pastor Prime.
Killa Bees.
Okay.
Pastor Prime. Pick.
No, go faster.
Yeah.
Cole Strange got drafted by the Patriots. He's a guard.
Oh, the thing is, he got drafted by the Patriots, so he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Pastor Prime, Speed Academy.
Speed.
Yeah, this game is aptly named Speed Academy.
Expendables, Thor's Hammer.
Thor.
Lightweight, Mangoose.
Mangoose. Outside.
Yeah, it's outdoors.
Les Malud, Junkyard Dogs.
Junkyard Dogs.
JYD.
And Bearskins, Easy W.
Easy W.
Easy W.
All right, 4A, Les Bleus Branleurs, Sparrows Cougars.
Sparrows.
KGP Raw, Top Season.
Oh, that's good.
Good game.
Ooh, we didn't talk about that. That's good.
Top Season.
KGP Raw.
Big Fun, Backyard Bullies.
Big Fun.
The Stoics, The Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Stoics. Bruins, Nomads.
Bruins. Because
Small
bears eat nomadic people.
Small Giants, Blackouts.
Blackouts.
Takeover, Hurley and Sons.
Takeover.
Mongoose, Centaur.
Give me my goose.
We have 5A, Honey Martin, Vultures.
There's no 4B?
Maybe this is are you 4B?
Oh, yes.
4B, Honey Martin, Vultures.
It's
a long show.
What'd you pick?
I can't pick it.
I know. Vultures. Do you feel bad playing against Vultures because you're also on Vultures 2.0?
And I'm playing them. I'm playing with Vultures 2.0, and then right after I'm
Are
playing
you going to try and
them.
injure your own teammates?
Maybe. Oops.
Ballers Beer Belly Brigade.
Beer Belly Brigade.
Yeah, BB.
Yeah.
Chiefs take George Karlaftis from Purdue.
Oh, he would be a great fit on Beer Belly Brigade.
I take the
Mofos the U.
The U.
The U.
Arush Sphinx.
Sphinx. Let's go Sphinx, please. Please. Sphinx.
Arush.
All Sphinx all day. Ask the Sphinx. I'm sorry I've been calling you cheaters all season. Sphinx.
Hot Sauce Sports Finessers.
Can't pick it. Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
It's indoors. Give hot sauce. Hot sauce.
And Voodoo
So fucking
Golden
pro.
Eagles.
Golden Eagles.
Golden Eagles.
All right, 5A, Vultures 2.0, Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah, I can't pick it. Sorry.
Buffalo
Ravens-
Wild Wings, Backwoods Football Club.
Backwoods.
Backwards.
Kings of the North, the Mighty Six.
Kings of the North, the new
Kings of the
quarterback.
North,
Give
yeah.
me Jimbo, baby.
Yeah,
I'm so happy he's back.
Yeah.
So happy he's back.
Kings.
Dilfs, Lubba,
Lubba dub dub dub.
The wabba.
The
That guy-
Reet, Streets Ahead.
The Reet.
So close they almost rhyme. The Reet.
Goofy Goobers, Kings of the North.
Goofy in that one.
Nah. Jimbo. Let's do it.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Metaverse, Los Bandidos.
Meta.
Metaverse.
Balls Deep, Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Ghosts. Yep. It's
All
Ghosts.
right,
Good game.
5A, Team Sexy Warriors.
5B.
Warriors.
This is 5B.
Yes.
You said 5A.
Yeah.
It's 5B. Okay.
Warriors.
What could have been Air Force One.
Air Force One.
AF1.
San Francisco 69ers versus Replacements.
Replacements. Let's do it.
Yeah, replacements.
Threat Level Midnight, Red Dragons.
Threat level midnight.
Give me the younger Red Dragons.
All right.
Wait, were you waiting for me to say something?
Division 6. Your girlfriends cheer for us. Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. Well, if they bring out Tyson again, they'll forfeit. So Tropic Thunder.
Killer Rays, the Off Island Boys.
Off Island Boys are really good.
Off Island Boys.
Faulkner.
Well, yeah, they have a university quarterback in Division 6.
That game's canceled. Cavalier de Rohan, Beer Nights.
Beer Nights.
Beer Nights.
The Step Bros, Primetime.
Primetime.
Yeah, primetime.
Stratton Oakmont, Demons.
Demons. They've improved a lot.
And Zidane La Frappe, Free Agent Squad.
Free Agent Squad, let's do it. Maximum chaos.
Free Agent
Maximum
Squad.
chaos.
Let's go.
Maximum chaos.
Make it, baby.
Is
Let's
this
go.
the last game of the week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
my
god.
God.
It's the last game of FBF's regular season.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Okay, we got to make a
More
road trip
games,
for it.
What?
Sunday night, we got to make a road trip for it.
Down.
Loyola Outdoors.
Co-ed. Oh, that's awful.
Eagle, you're driving.
Maybe not. Sriracha Hot Chili Sauce, Bishop Sycamore.
Bishop Sycamore.
Bishop.
Party Mix, Easy Fun.
Party Mix.
Party Mix.
Power Rangers, 2.5 Kittens.
PR.
Same.
And Party Mix, Average and Savage.
Party
Party
Mix.
Mix.
All right, Co-ed 2, 3 Hunas, La Sect.
3 Hunters.
3 Hunters.
Fit Squad, Team Commando.
Fit.
Kiss My End Zone, Y and Y.
Perfect. Perfect ending to a season.
Yes, it is.
Kiss my end zone.
That might actually be the last game. It's at 10 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah,
So.
on Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, and then we already know one of the finals, essentially, between the Volts and Red Nation. So
I can't pick it because I'm
Yeah.
a broadcaster.
Professional one.
I'm professional.
Volts.
I don't know if you can tell that by this
Volts
podcast.
for the Tier 2 Women's Championship.
And let's do a quick one here. We have Bleu Pou versus Brutes on Sunday.
That's good. That is a good game.
Blue pool.
Bleu Pou. But it's really
Yeah.
close.
And we have Les Bleus versus Flamand Rose.
That's lovely.
That Le Bleu. Yeah.
So then our finals would be Les Bleus versus Bleu Pou.
Ooh,
If I
the
understood
two
that right?
different.
We
The
don't know
two
if we can
different-
pick it. We don't know who's broadcasting the game.
Well, you're doing the other one, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
we don't
can
know
actually,
the.
Yes, we both know that we both can pick it. Correct. Fact.
So Bleu Pou versus Les Bleus, if that's the picks
If.
from the previous
Let's go,
one.
Les Bleus.
Yeah, Le Bleu. Women's Tier 1 officially would be the first championship in women's because we had a 2020 season but never got finished.
That's true.
So it would be the very first, the inaugural women's championship. We predicted to go to Les Bleus.
Very excited.
And that's our show, boys and girls.
Wrap it up.
Thank you, Iggy.
Like a ref.
Thank you
Yeah.
for the coffee. Thank you for
problem.
subbing. You did a great job.
Thanks for the candies.
It's no problem. It wasn't for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what your thing is.
It
so I
says
can-
Mondu, so it's like cat litter and.
Yeah, that's why I bought it.
Dog
That's literally why I bought it. I didn't bring you beer this week because I walked from work.
It's okay. I brought you the beer glasses.
So I can fill it. The
Yeah,
cup, the
so you
bottles.
can fill it back.
Yeah.
Wait, you have more beer?
Yeah, I do have more beer.
I'm making one some more.
Well, I'll bring you some. I have a lot.
She even asked me. She's like,
Really
"Is
good.
pizza more beer?" And I was like,
I make beer, so I have a lot of it.
It's very good.
So yeah, so thank you for joining. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good.
It's been
That
a
was
lot of
good.
fun.
Good job.
Thank you, Eagle, for
Yeah,
everything
thanks,
you do.
Eagle.
Thank you to the NFL Draft for giving us all this extra content that nobody asked for. It really, really made my night.
See, the best part is people are going to watch this tomorrow, in which case they know
Already
who
know.
got
This-
picked when.
Yeah.
There's no point to what we did.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what makes me happy.
What a end of this season, the FPF season that we're gonna have with the Division 6 especially. We couldn't have
It's wild.
scripted it any better.
I wanna thank Free Agent Squad for not being dicks.
Yeah.
But most of all, I want to thank you all for letting me be myself.